just go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
It's 6 o'clock, bright and early on this Tuesday morning. Welcome to it, your Feel Good Early Risers. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Express on SABC3. Thank you very much for joining us at the start of a brand new day. So good to be in your company. My name is Katlego Baboy, and today we are gearing up for Mandela Day this coming Saturday, where we are all asked to spend at least 67 minutes doing something good and perhaps laughing for 67 minutes with various local comedians like Anne Hirsch, or spending time virtually by contributing to Ladles of Love. Now, just because it's lockdown, of course, it doesn't mean that we need to stop giving back during this time. So we bring you all the insight on how to make your contribution in every kind of way possible that we can think of. And we hope that you are encouraged to share your ways of giving back with us. Of course, engage with us on our social media platforms. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. And whenever you do so, hashtag Expresso Show so that we can keep up with what you are doing at the start of a brand new day. But as we begin the day, let's say hello to the rest of the team. Morning, guys.
Good morning, South Africa.
Morning, sunshine.
Yes, Jamie Dominic reporting. Hello, welcome back, Chi. I've
Thank you
missed
so much.
you. We've all missed you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all the well-wishers. Been off getting a microdissectomy over the last week.
You know what? Someone said yesterday, G got a back replacement, and I laughed. I was like, that's when you know you're getting old, hey?
Girl, it feels like it. I've got to commend Dr. Welsh and the amazing team that worked on me. It really has made all the difference. Still got a bit of a road to go with rehab, but what a difference. So to all the health professionals out there, I love you. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. And in fact, we're going to take a bit of a focus on health and safety, if you will, to a degree this morning. Obviously, during lockdown, a different kind of relationship we've shared with our children, having to guide them through the mental process and that side of things, but the physical process as well. So this morning, we are asking, how have you kept your children healthy and strong as we take them back to school? My little one was back at school.
I was just going to say, now you said that Jack has gone back to school. How do you feel? Do you feel like nervous, anxious?
Very anxious, but more about how he was going to handle it. If it was going to be different, how were they going to manage the mask situation? The school has been amazing, so kudos to them as well. But he's doing well, which means that we are doing well. But we want to know from you guys at home, how are you keeping your children healthy and strong as they go back to school?
Absolutely, but right now, let's get on with the order of the day and find out what's happening in and around the world.
Well, 2 minutes past the hour, and here's a look at those news headlines. On the national news front, new regulations gazetted on Sunday evening determined that building and store owners, as well as all employers and school principals, will face 6 months imprisonment and/or fines if they allow mask-free people on their premises. Now, taxi operators will face the same penalties if they don't enforce mask wearing, but the individual self won't face jail time or a fine. Ronald Lamola, Minister of Justice and Correctional Service, said yesterday. He added, though, that if there wasn't any improvement in the behavior of individuals, government would reconsider the criminalization of not wearing a mask. Now, the South African Social Security Agency, or SASSA, has appointed 465 doctors to assist with the assessment of grant applications by people with disabilities. Social Development Minister Lindiwe Zulu yesterday said priority is being given to disabled people who were assessed prior to the lockdown but did not complete the administrative process, as well as those who were booked for assessments which could not take place during levels 4 and 5 of the lockdown. Now, new applications will be assisted on an appointment basis and subject to the availability of resources. Taking a look at international news on this Tuesday morning, Indian newspapers from 1966 have surfaced in the French Alps under the ice of melting Mont Blanc glacier. Now, they are believed to be from an Air India plane that crashed on the 24th of January 1966, killing all 117 passengers on board. Now, the front page reports the landmark election of Indira Gandhi, India's first and to this day only female prime minister. Rising global temperatures are causing mountain glaciers to melt and polar ice sheets to retreat, and part of a glacier on Mont Blanc's Grand Jurassic Peak was vulnerable to collapse. In other news, a British pub landlord has put an electric fence in front of his bar counter to encourage customers to keep social distancing. Johnny McFadden, who runs the Star Inn in St. Just, Cornwall, said there was limited space in his small pub and he had struggled to get the social distancing message across to some of his customers. So he said the fence was a good deterrent because customers, quote, don't want to touch it to find out it is whether it is or not, and adding that people keep away from it. People are like sheep, he says. And now, can you guess which one is in front? Now, an image of two zebras is taking social media by storm because no one can agree which one is looking at the camera. Now, Sarosh Lodi, a wildlife photographer from Nagpur, India, took the picture in the Masai Mara in Kenya, where he captured two zebras at the perfect moment, creating an incredible optical illusion. Now, he says he was clicking a dazzle of zebras when he saw two zebras approaching each other. They kept coming closer and closer to his quote, utter amusement. They reached an alignment that caused a perfect illusion. Lodi, a wildlife photographer for more than 2 decades, says some images remain forever memorable. Now, the image sparked a social media debate this week after forest officer and friend of Lodi's, Parveen Kaswan, posted the picture on his Twitter page and asked users to guess which zebra is facing the camera. Now, the question is, can you tell which zebra is in front? And if you've guessed the one on the left, you'd be correct. Lodi confirmed the zebra on the left is indeed the one looking at the camera. And now, sad news as Zinzi Mandela dies at 59 following the announcement yesterday of the passing of Zinzi Mandela, the youngest daughter of the late Ndade Nelson Mandela and Winnie Madikizela Mandela. Various national and international agencies have paid tribute to her. Aged 59, she was working as the ambassador to Denmark and had been designated to become South Africa's head of mission in Monrovia, Liberia. Denmark's ambassador to South Africa, Tobias Elling Rehfeldt, wrote on Twitter, Zinzi was a dear colleague working tirelessly and with a smile to nurture and grow the strong friendship between South Africa and Denmark. My deep condolences to the Mandela family. President Cyril Ramaphosa described Zinzi as a global household name who, during our years of struggle, held an unshakable resolve of our fight for, he added, her spirit joins Ndade Madiba and Mama Winnie in a reunion of leaders to whom we owe our freedom. The cause of her death has not been disclosed at this time. Well, that's it for the news headlines on this Tuesday morning. We'll have another report for you at 7 o'clock right now. Here's your sports headlines with Graham.
Thanks so much, Kat. Let's start with local rugby news. 2 Western Province rugby players have tested positive for COVID-19 after management and players all underwent an extensive testing procedure. The 2 players who tested positive, one uncapped Stormers squad member and one junior player, are both now asymptomatic and they will remain in isolation and will be monitored during this time. On to football, but keeping it local, Premier Soccer League Chairman Dr. Irvin Khoza yesterday addressed the media on plans for the resumption of the 2019-2020 PSL season. That was after all league action stopped in March due to concerns over the spread of the coronavirus. Khoza confirmed that Gauteng has been chosen as the destination for the resumption of the season. He believes they would need 6 weeks to complete the season and have committed to the 31st of August deadline. So all players and staff will be tested twice before the restart. No date has been yet provided on when the season will resume, but we have to assume it's around the corner. Then staying with football, but a little further afield, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United remain in 5th place in the Premier League. That was after playing to a 2-2 draw against a spirited Southampton at Old Trafford last night. Southampton opened the scoring with a right-footed shot by midfielder Stuart Armstrong. United then equalised and took the lead 10 minutes later with goals by Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial. Southampton's Michael Obafemi's 96th minute equaliser, talk about Fergie time, prevented United from jumping up to 3rd place. There'll be just one Premier League fixture this evening to look forward to, and that's Chelsea hosting bottom of the log Norwich City at Stamford Bridge. That's at 9:15 tonight. That's where we leave our sport for now. Let's take a look at the weather.
Thank you very much, G-Man. It's time for us to take a look at the weather across the country. First, starting off here in Cape Town, where it is a wonderful Tuesday morning, of course, across the country. But a fresh start to a brand new day. Thank you very much for waking up on the right side of lockdown. We take a look at the weather forecast in case you need to step up your wardrobe and step out to fulfill your duties today. But first, yesterday we did report on an intense cold front that has hit the Western Cape and some parts of the Northern Cape. We have received this video from Expresso viewer Robin Wolf, who found herself in the middle of a sea foam yesterday in Sea Point, Cape Town. Take a look at that. Now, this video follows a caption which reads, "How much fun, my poor little mini," referring to car, better than being stuck on the Atlantic Ocean in the little boat. Let me tell you, this was scary. Sure. Well, I hope that you have, obviously you did arrive home safely, and all of you in the Western Cape to remain indoors. You are urged absolutely, and not to drive around unnecessarily, as encouraged by the province's local government minister, Anton Bredel. And now the city of Cape Town has started with mopping up operations after strong winds and heavy rain pummeled the Cape Metro over the past few days. Numerous trees were uprooted in various neighborhoods. Roofs were blown off in areas such as Manenberg, Heideveld, Lavender Hill, as well as vehicles that had to drive through foam and sea water that had spilled onto the promenade in the beach road of Sea Point. Various other roads across the metro had also been flooded and were being attended to by the city's roads and stormwater department. So several temporary classrooms at Nomzamo High School, for example, in the Heidelberg Basin, were badly damaged, with learners and teachers sent home for safety reasons because of the debris that was still being tossed about in the strong winds yesterday. Now, the South African Weather Service has warned of yet another day of strong winds and raining conditions, with some snowfall expected over the northern and eastern Cape today. Here are the temperatures for the country today. Clear skies for Polokwane 3, that's your low, reaching a high of 22 with 0% chance of rain today. Mbombela, your low is 10, reaching a maximum of 22%, reaching a maximum of 32 degrees. Pretoria 3, reaching a high of 14, with Johannesburg starting off at 1, reaching a high of 11. It's clear conditions for Mahikeng 2, reaching a high of 25, 0% chance of rain, with Klerksdorp at 1 and 12. It's a partly cloudy day for Kimberley 2, reaching a high of 10, and sun and clouds over there. Bloemfontein, 40% chance of rain. Your low is 3, reaching a high of 8. If you're out in Richards Bay, 12 and 21, with the sun and clouds, 25%. That's your chance of rain. 2, reaching a high of 16 for Pietermaritzburg, with mostly clear skies for Durban today. 11, reaching a high of 20. 59% chance of rain. If you're out in Mthatha, 4 and 12, those are your temperatures. Strong winds out in East London. 11, reaching a high of 15. Craddock, your temperatures 2 and 8, with an evening shower that can be expected out in the friendly city, also known as the windy city. Port Elizabeth 9, reaching a high of 13. 80% chance of rain over there, with 61% chance of rain for George. 5 and 12, those are your temperatures. 79% chance of rain out in Cape Town once again today. 9, reaching a high of 14, with 1 and 9 for Worcester and Sutherland. You will start the morning off with below 0 temperatures. -3, reaching a high of 4. Uppington 4 and 14, and of course a brief extension of the forecast for tomorrow. Extremely cold conditions are expected in places over the high-lying areas of the Free State, as well as the northern, western and eastern Cape. That's where we leave it for now.
Absolutely, and wherever you find yourself on this beautiful Tuesday, make sure that you make it count and keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Now, as we continue to celebrate aspect of Tata Madiba's compassion and humanity ahead of Nelson Mandela International Day taking place this Saturday, the 18th of July, we'd also like to share some of his words of wisdom regarding children as we shine a spotlight on child health today right here in studio.
Madiba's focus on the well-being and development of the African child has previously been highlighted on the show, and this can be seen in his legacy with the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund and the Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital. And here's what he once said.
He says, "It is my deepest conviction that the children should be seen and heard as our most treasured assets. They are not ours to be used and abused, but to be loved and nurtured and encouraged to engage in life to the full extent of their being, free from fear."
I absolutely love that, Jamie. I think it just speaks to the concept of imagine a world that we could have in a future that kids grew up in where there was no fear. I think it would be such a beautiful place, and I think it doesn't have to be a dream. It literally can become a reality, and that can start today. So the perfect message to start our day.
Let that sink in, and in a moment we'll be saying happy birthday to you.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Hey, hey.
Feel it, feel it.
It's that special time of the day. In fact, it's that special time of the year for you because it is your birthday today. Hopefully it's your birthday today, but we're going to wish all of those very, very special people a big happy birthday. And if it is your birthday today, you share it with the notorious, one of the greatest. Whether you like him or not, you've got to admit he is one of the greatest. Conor McGregor.
He's so much fun.
He turns 32 years old and he recently retired from his professional.
32?
Only 32. He's achieved so much. Professional Irish, well, I was going to say MMA star, but he stepped in the ring. So he has done a little bit of boxing with Mayweather, but he is undoubtedly one of the greatest fighters, I think, of our generation. He broke the record, in fact, at the UFC, 194 for knocking out Jose Aldo in just 13 seconds. That's since been broken, that record, by Jorge Masvidal. But that was the fastest victory in a UFC title fight in history of the UFC. Was the first fighter to hold titles in 2 different weight divisions simultaneously, and he was not shy to remind everybody of that fact. It's the notorious. He is a legend in the game, and now he is, after the amount of money that he made with that Floyd Mayweather fight.
Yeah.
He is out there living his
He's
best
set up. He is
life.
set up. Oh, well, listen, it's time for us to celebrate the rest of your birthdays. If you are celebrating it today, well, we might just mention your name this morning.
Wow.
Zara, it's your birthday today. You turn 11. Happy 11th birthday to my precious granddaughter, Zara. May today and every day be filled with love and laughter. Remember the power of prayer. We love you so much. This is from your granny, Eureka, and great-granny, Ma Sarah. Happy birthday. Romano, it's also your birthday today. Happy birthday, Romano. May God bless you more. Thank you for everything. This is from your family. Sweet and short.
I love that. And a happy 13th birthday. It's a big one. For Layla, being 13 is so special because it marks the beginning of your teenage years. I hope that God blesses you more this year, and that's love from your Auntie Pam and from your family. And then a happy 34th birthday rather to my beautiful and amazing son, Johnny Kutsia. Thank you for everything you have brought to my life. You make each and every day a blessing. Lots of love, and that's coming to you from your mom and the rest of the family. Happy birthday, Donny.
Oh, and we've also got Mongezi coming through here. To Mongezi, don't worry about the future. I'm sure you'll have a bright one. Don't worry about the past. You can't change it. Don't worry about the present. I don't have one for you. This is from your brother, Major League. Oh, Bangbizu, Major League. And then it's also Yimanati's birthday today. If life gives you lemons, you should make lemonade and try to find someone whose life has given them vodka and have a party. But you will have to wait for the alcohol to be unbanned for that vodka. Lol. Happy birthday to you, bro. This is from your brothers.
The guys
happy birthday.
Hey, on point, on form this morning. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful messages. And again, a happy birthday. If we didn't get through your message this morning, I hope you have a fantastic day. If you'd like to send that special person in your life a birthday message, why not send us an awesome video to 0716406551. That's the WhatsApp line, or you can just email those birthday wishes to birthdays@cordova.tv. Now, do you fancy a virtual run?
Yes.
Actual run, a virtual run?
I'm always up for any type of run.
He's virtually up for it. Let's find out more.
Let's see this.
You're still tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso here on SABC3. Now, from mid-July until November, the Justice League Virtual Run Series will be happening across the country, seeing families dressed up as their favorite DC superheroes for a good cause, being to help provide children from lower-income families with nutritional meal packs.
Of course, now CEO of Sports Vendo and the organizer of the Justice League Virtual Run Series, Leon Swanepoel, along with patron Ilse Saunders, join us to tell us more about this family series, which is a really great initiative to get involved in for the month of Madiba.
Leon, tell me about this initiative. I think certainly a great way to get us all who've been stuck indoors to get a little exercise, get on the bandwagon again. Tell us more about how you aim to bring families together with this virtual run series.
We decided to approach DC Comics and Warner Brothers. We've always been doing road running events, organizing mass participation events, and we've just found that if there's more fun added to running, it's so much appealing and it really draws more people to the sport. And we obtained the license and we were ready to roll out the events at actual venues just before the pandemic struck us. And we then went virtual. And so we decided, let's take the DC superheroes to the family homes while we are allowed to participate from our residence, not in big masses, but in small groups. Why not offer this on a family base? Because it's so much fun and excitement.
Leon, I could not agree more. Now, I also believe you'll be making contributions to non-profits like Head Start Kids and aid them in the distribution of 150,000 nutritional meals for kids over the remainder of the year. Can you tell me more about this incredible initiative?
Yes, almost simultaneously when we designed these virtual runs with DC superheroes, Head Start Kids also launched their product. And we just immediately saw the synergy between the events where families which are in a position to enjoy themselves and have sufficient food on the table can at the same time make a contribution. Now, the events obviously requires an entry fee. And in return for that, you do get your superhero pack, which changes every month from Superman to Wonder Woman to Batman to Aquaman and The Flash. And in the entry fee, we've provided that a portion will be contributed and donated to Head Start Kids, which will then support their campaign of offering food packs and meal packs with nutritional values included to all our South African children all over the country.
I mean, it's wonderful news to see how we are all coming together at a time of need such as this. And of course, to make such a great initiative a great success, you need superheroes to join along on the journey. And Ilse, Miss Earth SA 2014, or shall I say, Superwoman, you've embraced this opportunity to help another cause. Tell me about what struck a chord with you.
I always believe that we have to do our bit. And with this series, it reminds us that we are all superheroes. And we have to unleash the superhero within by giving back to those who need it the most, our children. And the beauty for me is that this allows everyone to have fun, to give back, especially in these challenging times.
Ilse, I'm absolutely sold now. I'm like already getting ideas about what I'm going to wear and stuff. But can you tell me exactly how does this all work? Is it like a different superhero for a different race, or like what will be happening? Take me through it, please.
So this is where all the real excitement lies, because it's something that you can look forward to for the rest of the year. It's very simple. You go online and you enter for all the virtual runs. There's also different packages that you can choose from. And each entrant will receive a superhero kit for each run that you entered. For example, this is the Superman run kit, which is going to happen on the 19th of July. Also, you get into your kit an awesome medal, and that is also included. And then, obviously, so we are so excited about the next month after this is celebrating Women's Day on the 9th of August, which will be the Wonder Woman run. And then we are going to Aquaman on the 6th of September, which is appropriate when summer is back. And we all want to get into that summer bodies. And then Batman follows in October, which is on the 4th. And we finish off with The Flash on the 8th of November.
Quite appropriate to be finishing off with the Flash. Some speedy runs, I'm sure, that you can expect there. Now,
Yes.
Leon, for those who are interested...
A flash dash.
Exactly. Leon, for those who are interested, where can they get more information about all of this?
Just go to the website, Justice League series, and they'll give you all the information, the dates, the different superhero events coming up. And there's buttons that will take you through to the platform where you can enter one of your packages, whether it's for families, teams, or just as individuals.
Fantastic. Ilse, Leon, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so
you.
much.
Definitely a good reason to get the whole family out and about, out of the house finally, stretch those legs a little bit, and of course, all for a good cause. Now, all entries are open now, and for the first run walk, the Superman run, there are only 20,000 spots available nationwide. So get there and get there fast.
Only you can make my day.
Wherever you may be, all Expresso prizes are delivered to you by Globe Flight, delivering smiles since 1998, 24/7, 365.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Born in 1993 with cerebral palsy, Paralympic sprinter Charles du Toit has not once let that hold him back. And now he joins us for a video call to share more about his incredible career. Charles, how are you doing this morning, brother?
Good morning. Doing great, thanks, and yourself? So good, and it's so good chatting to you, man. I've seen a lot of you online, and I've been watching your story. It's such an inspiration to see how much you've been dominating. But how's the lockdown been for you? How have things adjusted since?
I think it's been a very unique experience. I don't think it's anything that we'll experience in our lifetime again. But I have to give credit to our gym coach and to our track coach, Suzanne and Sean. They've been doing amazing work and being creative with the exercises that we can do during the lockdown. So we don't have all the equipment that we would have liked, but we have been creative and we've been keeping up with all the training that we could do.
And I mean, look, taking it all the way back to the 2016 Summer Rio Olympics, where we saw you claiming that gold for the 400-meter race. But not only did you win the event, but you also broke a world record. What was that feeling like, man?
I think I was just very grateful. I didn't have the easiest build-up towards the games, but just crossing that line and seeing my name come up first for our country was a really special feeling. But I think the first thought that went through my head was a thought of grateful. I'm very thankful this could happen. And I just thought about all the people around me, everybody that invested into the journey, because it was a team effort. It wasn't an individual effort.
All right, well, look, Shaw, I know that preparations have been postponed for those Olympic Games, which are now coming up in the 2021 period next year. So you're obviously now preparing for it, and I know you've got an incredible workout to share with us this morning. So while you set up, everybody at home, I want you guys to grab anything that you have in the house that's heavy, whether it's a water bottle, a ball, or anything that's needed, and you're going to enjoy this epic full-body workout from Shaw himself. It's a full inspirational session. Let's get involved. Right, Charles, so where do we begin with this workout? How does it start? What's first?
Okay, so I've decided we can do one strength, one explosive, and one core exercise that we can get a whole holistic approach here. So the first one would be the step up. So turn towards the step and you do a back lunge. So while one foot goes back in a back lunge, step up, and nice explosive up and down. So you can do that on both legs, alternating, and that would give you a good explosive onto a step.
How am I looking over there, Shaw? You're making this look way too easy. I'm trying my best here, but let me know, what does it look like? Am I doing it right?
Looks good.
Yeah. So, you guys at home, obviously we're doing something explosive over here. So find a step at home, find a chair or anything that you can that has some height in it. Use that arm drive, and as you can see, Shaw's putting all that speed and power into this movement, climbing up onto the step and getting that good leg drive. Shaw, how many reps would we do of this in total?
You can do 6 per leg, and you can do 3 sets of those. So it will be good for the coordination, the balance, and the speed. If you could do 6 reps on each leg and do 3 sets of those.
While you're mentioning that to me now, I've only done about like 4 reps of that, and I'm feeling my quads and the glutes burning quite a bit. So already I think this is going to be an absolute burner for everybody at home that does attempt this exercise. I love it, Shaw. Moving over from this holistic movement, we've just finished the explosive work. What's next?
So next we can do some of the strength work. And so people at home can take a heavier object and do a goblet squat. So I'm going to use my kettlebell and take my kettlebell and put it right up against my chin and then go back into squatting position and nice explosive up.
Okay,
So
I see you with the kettlebell, and I raise you my water bottle. It's 5 kgs. I've got it straight up against my chest. We're going down for a squat now, and then exploding up. Whoa. Feeling the extra intention that I need to incorporate that movement, Shaw. This is fantastic. Is it supposed to be hurting the glutes once again here? You've already nailed this, the pelvic girdle here, and I'm feeling some more stimulation in the glutes. Is that correct?
100%. So you need to work from your glutes, taking your hips forward when you come up for that nice and explosive lift.
That's going to give you that drive, I'd imagine. Is this something that you didn't incorporate into your training as an athlete as well, I'm sure?
Yes, 100%. We normally use a bar as well. So you take an Olympic bar with some weights on, put it on your shoulders. But now at home, not everybody has all the equipment, so a heavier object or kettlebell is great to use.
Well, Shaw, I can tell you, you are making me sweat, and we have not even finished the first round here. So what's the next exercise for this incredible workout?
Great. So another one that would be great to do as well is a nice core exercise. So you can stand wall to wall. You can use any wall and take the ball and throw it against the wall and catch it in short passes. And keeping that core nice and stiff when you do that.
All right, Shaw, let me try this one out. I'm getting so excited because I've brought this ball into the studio and I haven't used it very often. So I'm really excited for this one. So let me grab the wall here. Coming out, what is my positioning? Am I standing quite tall or do I have a little bit of a crouch in my body? What's the game plan?
You put your chest out forward, but you stand nice and strong so that you take if you're facing the left side first, take your left foot forward and balancing on that left foot, your front foot, and putting weight on that with a nice upright posture with your chest out. And then you throw and catch it.
Ooh. Wow, sure. It looks a lot easier than it actually is. I'm feeling my core tearing up here. My weight is about a 10 kg on this ball, so it's quite heavy. I can feel the wall almost starting to break here, but definitely feeling my posterior chain, the shoulders, the core especially. Is that correct?
100%. So, yeah, it's the whole body movement with the center part of this exercise being in your core.
All right, and I'd imagine anyone at home, if you don't have a weighted ball, use a soccer ball, use anything that can bounce off of the wall, and I'm sure you are going to benefit dramatically from this core ripper. Sure, that's an incredible one. So how many rounds in total would we do of this?
Well, 3 rounds would be good if you do that. You can do the wall exercise, you can do 15 to 20 on each side. So you can easily turn around and do it on the other side as well. So I would say for the goblet squat between 8 to 10 and with the core exercise 15 to 20 on each side. And you do 3 sets of those.
Oh, there you have it, guys. It's Charles du Toit, that Olympian, our inspiration, and we're wishing him nothing but prosperity for that upcoming 2021 Paralympic Games. Man, it's been an absolute inspiration to hear your story, brother. And thank you for sharing this incredible workout with us.
Thank you for the wonderful opportunity.
Have a great day, man. Cheers.
Thanks.
Gentlemen, thank you so much, Charles. An absolute legend there. So good to connect with you, my friend. Time now, though, to replenish the body with a little bit of breakfast.
Fruits of the forest from Clover just added real cereal crunch. A symphony of fruit, oats, seeds, and granola crunch. Fruits of the forest. Real fruit, real cereal, real taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Yep, time to get back in the kitchen to whip up an extremely healthy and beautiful breakfast. It's easy, I think, to get stuck in a daily breakfast routine, but thanks to Clover Fruits of the Forest yogurt-based dairy snack, a source of 10 vitamins. Breakfast can be colorful, it can be fruity, and it can be ultra-healthy to boot. Today, Nix is going to show us how to make a mouth-watering Fruits of the Forest breakfast smoothie bowl. Nice. You've taken it and you've turned it upside down, you've inverted it, we've gone to a smoothie, and then we're creating a bowl around that. It's delicious. Most importantly, it's packed with all the nutrients you need to start your day.
100%. So the thing is with a smoothie bowl, the difference between a smoothie and a smoothie bowl is a smoothie bowl is a lot more thicker in texture, and you can add obviously your whole ingredients. So this is something that you wouldn't necessarily drink with a straw.
You can try. It's just going to take you a while.
Oh gosh.
No, I love the textural elements. I think that's been one of the greatest. You know, I know I got on and on about this diet, but it's helped me to rediscover the joy of eating and joy of food. When you reintroduce things, textures to me are now my kind of favorite thing. When you can reintroduce a beautiful texture, it helps so much, especially when you've got the crunch of the nuts. But you know, here everything that you are adding is adding a different element, a different nutrients as well.
Yeah. So with your smoothie bowl, you want your smoothie to be smooth. So we're adding our oats. So this also bulks it up, gives it lots of fiber. We're adding a little bit of your cashew nuts if you're a nut fan. You can leave it out if you're allergic. To add a little bit of a natural sweetness, I would say go for something like dates. I'm using fresh dates here. I've just taken out the seeds, so just be aware of that. And then I'm going to go for the strawberry and cranberry with cereal. So I thought with the blueberries, why not do the strawberry?
Perfect compliment, yeah, I love that.
So going to add our yogurt-based dairy snack. I actually want to add 2. You can add 1, but because I am super hungry this morning, I've made you a double batch there too.
I appreciate it. No, I really appreciate it.
So I'm going to add this yogurt-based dairy snack in here, and then you want to just add a little bit of liquid because, like I said, you don't want it too thick or too thin either. So I'm going to add apple juice. You can add some nut milk, you can add milk, you can add water, you can add any...
Just know, I mean, like, obviously our fruity sugars, it's still a sugar, so just be aware of the fact that you're still introducing a sugar there, but sometimes you do need a bit of a kickstart to your metabolism to give you that energy surge. Just don't overdo it.
Exactly, and what's nice is this step you can do at home. So if you have like a smoothie maker or blender, you just put it into a juice bottle and you can take it to work with you, and then you pack in all your toppings in a little Tupperware and you can enjoy it at work as well. As easy as that.
Simple and quick, we like that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure those dates are beautifully cold. So,
and if you're looking for a natural sweetener, I mean, you can get date syrup now as well. It's
I love date syrup.
It tastes beautiful. It's got a lovely earthy flavor, almost it has that same syrupy flavor, but you know that it's just a little bit healthier, which is great.
Yeah, and
less refined sugar.
Exactly, and I love the flavor of dates. I think it's such a beautiful caramel, nutty flavor to it. So what you do is you pour it in, and I've chosen some blueberries. You can do any berries of your choice. You could do fruits, any seasonal fruit. Guavas is also quite nice.
Blueberry is great because you get that burst of flavor when you bite into it. It really does pop. It's great.
Yeah, little pops of like juice, like juice bags, I would say, like frozen juice. It's amazing.
A fantastic antioxidant power punch in your berries, especially your blueberry.
So I love adding seeds. So this fruits of the forest have seeds and nuts in it already, but now I like to bring it out a bit more and add that extra crunch. So I'm going to add a little bit of our granola. So I've just got a mixed granola that I had in the pantry here. You could obviously use a homemade one, or even just add some extra nuts. I've got some raisins in here. And then I love adding banana.
A little bit of banana.
Yeah, so I just want to add this.
Getting your potassium in there. This really is an uber healthy way to start the day, and don't ever discount the value of having a hearty breakfast, something that's going to kind of get your mind away from feeling hungry so that you can focus on what you need to do. And this is a really simple way of creating something that kind of packs a massive punch on the nutrient side as well, but it's going to make you feel fuller for longer.
Yeah, I think this would be like a Ryle approved recipe, right?
Completely.
So we're on the right track, but you're 100% right. You do want to start your morning with something that's healthy, packed with nutrients, and that's filling, that's like sustains you for the day, that you don't land up snacking on those sugary things.
Well, I suppose you could keep your little kind of your additives aside, and you could have a little snack jar of seeds, nuts, blueberries, and your granola on the side.
Just pop it all in here, just like that.
Absolutely love the combination of flavors, love the textural elements in there. And of course, I think it's going to taste absolutely delicious with the additive of our fruits of the forest, plus the 10 vitamins that you're getting as well. Healthy and delicious. And of course, to get this recipe, you can head over to expressoshow.com. But if you missed any of our steps, here's a little quick recap.
Made with love by Clover.
Fruits of the forest from Clover just added real cereal crunch. A symphony of fruit, oats, seeds, and granola crunch. Fruits of the forest. Real fruit, real cereal, real taste.
Made with love by Clover.
With your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, here on SABC3. Thank you very much for hanging out with us this morning. Now, Kat, you know they say laughter is the best medicine.
They
say that. So what if we told you you could get some laughs in and change a child's life in the process? Comedian Anne Hirsch joins us this morning to tell us all about the upcoming 67-minute stand-up comedy show on Mandela Day, featuring some of Mzansi's best comedian. Anne, good morning. So good to have you here.
Oh, it is so good to see your faces. You two are very good looking.
Likewise.
Oh,
No,
thank
so
you.
are
Thank you.
We secretly crush on you every day.
It's true. It is true.
But listen, you're bringing some laughter our way on Saturday, the 18th of July, alongside comedians like Mark Lottering is going to be there, Nick Rabinovitz and Kagiso KG Mokadi. Tell us about how this show came about.
Well, Cotlands, which is an amazing organisation in South Africa that helps kids with early learning development. They decided, well, this Nelson Mandela Day, a lot of people won't be able to go out and volunteer in their communities because of the lockdown of it all. So they teamed up with us comedians. So we're going to stream a show where people can buy tickets and in that way still feel good and do good on the day, but also enjoy themselves.
Excellent. This is fantastic. I love it. We know that Nelson Mandela loved children and he dedicated so much of his time to improving the lives of children in need. How will the proceeds from this particular show honor this legacy or his legacy?
Well, after lockdown, I plan to take the proceeds and go to Mauritius for a week.
I'll come with you.
I'm joking.
Not quite.
I'm joking. The proceeds will all be going to Cotlands to help them continue the work they do with the kids. It's really important. 1.1 million kids in South Africa don't have access to these early development programs. So it's really, guys, watching the show, even if you don't watch, just buy a ticket. You're going to be doing a lot of good.
How about that? But the cool thing is that we can watch it, all 67 minutes of it, which will be streamed online, and we can watch it with our families, in the comfort of our very own homes. How do we get our hands on the tickets?
Well, you can buy from Quicket, or you can go to the Cotlands website, and there's a link, and you can buy tickets there. Okay. Very easy.
Oh, this is great. Straight and simple, straightforward. But the lockdown, let's talk about that for a moment here. It continues to have such a devastating effect on the arts and, the entertainment industry in particular. This initiative gives some artists the opportunity really to work and give back to the community, obviously, at the same time. But what ways can viewers be of assistance during this time?
Yeah, I mean, my diary is wide open. So this show is really great for me. But I think people, artists, singers, comedians, everyone out there, they're doing a lot of online shows. Go watch them, go support them, follow them on Instagram, see what they're doing. Just keep the arts alive because, it's important.
But, we also do care about our artists out there, and we understand that, of course, the creative outlet is the way in which you as a person you function and express yourself to the world. So with that being said, you've been documenting some of your lockdown experiences. Tell me a bit more about this method that you've been using to cope with lockdown.
Well, I'm actually speaking to you from the future. Katlego, because I was in quarantine for 10 days before lockdown started. So I see myself as a bit of a lockdown guru. I can tell you 10 days in the future is great. It's a lovely day. But yeah, I've just been documenting pretty much every single day on Instagram to kind of keep myself sane. I document everything. I've actually started a little herb garden. I thought you might be interested to see.
Wow, yes.
I brought my, this is my mint, which is thriving at the moment.
It is looking beautiful.
Lovely. Thank you, it's beautiful. And then what's not doing so well, and I thought maybe people can go to my Instagram and give me some tips, this is my basil.
Basil's looking lonely.
Yeah, what are you battling with there?
Basil's looking...
What are you struggling
Basil's
with?
not looking good. I've also actually woke up early this morning. I cut my own hair this morning and colored it for you, which is another skill I've picked up during lockdown.
10 over 10 for effort,
it looks
and
amazing,
it looks so good.
It looks okay. It's not a great cut, this one. I've done better, but I do want, a lot of people have asked me, and this is actually a great opportunity to fill in the nation. If you're not going to the hairdresser yet, because you're a little bit scared yet, a little bit tentative, then this is a great scissors, which are this one. It's called a thinning scissors. You see, it's got little thingies. and it doesn't do too much damage. So you can kind of just like get in there and thin out your hair.
Okay.
So that's just a tip. That's a takeaway tip. That's free.
But hey, and you also moved to a new home during lockdown, and you even wrestled with the idea of starting your own hair salon, which we've just seen now. And I think there's a place for you in the industry, without a doubt. Are you enjoying the new home otherwise?
I am. It was quite stressful moving during lockdown, but everyone did it very socially distanced and sanitized. So the new home's been great because we're all about DIYing at the moment. I bought a leveler. I'm going to show you. I'm going to get the leveler. It's right there. Just stay there.
Okay. I've never heard of a level. What's a leveler?
I don't know. I can't wait to see.
What does it level?
I also want to know.
Okay. So Anne Hirsch.
I hope it's not for the hair.
Well, no, that's too late now.
Then you're leveling the...
There we go. Pants today, otherwise that would have been awkward. I started DIYing a little bit as well. So we bought a leveler.
Yes.
And you can, So I haven't used it yet. I don't know what to do with it. But apparently you can see different angles and stuff. And it looked quite fancy. Very into DIYing suddenly. It's all about that now.
And you're amazing. Listen, we love it. We love you. Love catching up with you. Love the awesome work that you're doing, especially that we're now in Mandela month and we're trying to just encourage all South Africans to do their bit for 67 minutes, and you're going to be bringing laughter to us. Thank you so much to you and the team, and good luck for the show.
Thank you. You better watch, because I'm going to be asking questions after. So.
It's going to be a quiz. Anne Hirsch. But of course, let's be the change that we wish to see in our country this Mandela month. You can make a difference. Hashtag love for change.
And a bit later on, we'll be putting Anne Hirsch to the test with a game of 5 seconds. I hope she's ready.
Anne Hirsch, the funniest human being ever. But listen up, it's winter. We all know dry, flaky skin can leave you feeling so miserable. I feel it, I know it, I feel you, my sisters. But that's why a hearty and healthy mask is always a great way, to rejuvenate the skin. And listen up, guys, your home ingredients have some of the best tools to help you do just that. And today we're talking DIY face masks with fashion and beauty editor Knox Murphy. Good morning, Knox.
Good morning.
You better call Becky with the good hair.
Hey.
Mama. I love it.
Thank you so much.
But today we're focusing all about the face. Here's my thing. I always get so confused. What is it with winter and that dry skin that we all dread, flaky skin, and it does leave you feeling miserable.
100%. I think we can't avoid it, Jamie. I think it's one of the things that come with winter. Your skin, obviously, the air is much harsher, so our skin doesn't take too well to that. And also, you're likely to get more flaky skin. And I mean, of course, if you're in the northern parts of the country, the air is much drier, so our skin also doesn't do well to that. If you're in a coastal area, you're still going to have the same issues. Maybe less flaky skin, but dryness is definitely a part of winter. It's one of those things we can't avoid. And I think also breakouts are also likely. So how do we fix that is kind of the way to do it, and we need to be proactive with our skin. And I think we can do something like that with our masks.
So how do we combat that? Because I mean, DIY face mask is a thing.
Yes.
And here's what I like about when you do it yourself. You know exactly what is going in.
100%.
You can keep it organic, keep it clear. So
100%.
Mama, you are teaching us your ways this morning.
Let's try that, because I think we all just want to stay at home as much as possible. We want to use what we have. And like you said, Jamie, some of the greatest ingredients are in the food we eat, and what you put on your skin will definitely show itself out. So we're going to do something for dry skin today. And I've got some avocado here for us. And all you need is about a quarter avocado. We need about plain yogurt. Now, a plain yogurt with probiotics and glacic acid, which is great for the skin to rejuvenate itself. And then we've got olive oil for the moisture, and of course some raw honey just to add that little bit of
Why do I feel like you're making me like a lunchtime snack over here? Because this sounds so good.
A part of me just wants to eat it, so I'm going to get to it. The first thing is, when you're working with that avo, you want to try smush it as much as possible. Just get it as fine as possible. This is quite ripe, so I shouldn't have a problem with that. So I'm just going to put that in here.
And again, it's all organic.
All organic.
This is things that you have in your pantry, so you're not going to be running out and trying to look for these things.
And we know that obviously avos have got a lot of omegas in them, which are very helpful. We've got our olive oil in here. Then we're going to add, it's going to get a bit messy, but I like a bit of mess.
Can I just tell you that these three ingredients, just like that, without adding the honey as well, even if you want to replace that with mayonnaise and then put it on your hair, because I used to do that when I used to have hair.
And still, your scalp needs it, but it's a great mask, like you were saying, absolutely. And then we're going to take this honey over here, which is available. I'm going to steal this and just take this is about a teaspoon, but I mean, you could take up to a tablespoon.
Why is my mouth watering for a face mask?
This is for your face, okay? This is not for your mouth.
I think I'm just going to lay in it. Like put it from head to toe, and then afterwards, whatever's left, you can
start to chow on yourself. Just put crackers and chew on yourself. Okay, so now that we've got this, okay, I've got way too many things in here for you guys, but what we're seeing here is just a lovely, easy to make mix. You can make it as thin as possible if you want. Then you put that on your skin. So I'm going to put some on my hands so you can see the consistency. And it just, the way it like soothes into your skin is so great. And like, you know, you can start to feel the hydration in there. Keep that on for about 20 minutes, and then you wash it off with cool, warm water, and your skin will definitely thank you.
Can I just ask you something?
Yeah.
What is the prep process before you putting this mask on? Are we just cleaning it off?
So it's important to just cleanse the face, right? So I'd recommend that you use, obviously, your normal cream cleanser. You could also maybe use your gel cleanser, which is just to activate the skin and prepare it for the nutrients. Toners are also great just to set those pores open. And clear. And then, of course, you can use your mask after that, and then of course carry on with your normal hydration and moisture after that, and you will feel so good. You can do this up to twice a week if you want. Luckily, you know, these ingredients aren't too harsh on the skin, so I'd really recommend that you try that at home because it makes the skin feel so good. You can keep it for up to 20 minutes, and I promise you, you're gonna be feeling next level.
You gotta call Becky with a glow up. Hello, Nox Mafu, everybody. She'll be back a bit later on for exfoliation as well, so stay tuned for that. Now you can give your skin the love it absolutely deserves. To get this recipe, head on over to expressoshow.com to get your hands on all of this for the glow, and make sure that you get your skin feeling happy and healthy with these easy and also organic face masks. Now remember, you can shop all your favorite DIY food ingredients at your nearest Woolworths store.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, live on ABC3. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. Thank you very much for starting the day off with us on the right side of lockdown. Geraldo, morning.
Indeed, it has been a special one. I see you've stolen some goodies over there.
I actually didn't steal this. You made this earlier, obviously, or it was made earlier by Nicole, and I'm just digging in, helping out. You know, somebody has to help the people eat the stuff we make on the show.
Such a good guy you are, Tabs. Anyway, guys, stay tuned for some more magic. But before we do that, let's find out what's happening in the news with Kat.
It's just before 7 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. Here's a look at the news headlines. On the national news front, President Cyril Ramaphosa has expressed his deep condolences after the death of South Africa's ambassador to Denmark, Zinzi Mandela. Mandela died at a Johannesburg hospital yesterday morning. She was 59 years old. Mandela was the youngest daughter of former President Dr. Nelson Mandela and freedom fighter Winnie Madikizela Mandela. Following her parents' separation, Zinzi was the stand-in First Lady of South Africa until her father remarried in 1996. Now, new regulations gazetted on Sunday evening determined that building and store owners, as well as all employers and school principals, will face 6 months imprisonment and or fines if they allow mask-free people on their premises. Taxi operators will face the same penalties if they don't enforce mask wearing. But the individual self won't face jail time or a fine, Ronald Lamola, Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, said yesterday. He added, though, that if there wasn't any improvement in the behavior of individuals, government would reconsider the criminalization of not wearing a mask. On the international news front on this Tuesday morning, the coronavirus pandemic is going to get, quote, worse and worse if certain governments do not take decisive action to curb the spread of the disease, the head of the World Health Organization warned yesterday. Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said there are dangerous increases in cases in countries where proven measures to reduce risk are not implemented or followed. He said mixed messages from leaders were undermining public trust in attempts to bring the pandemic under control. It is thought that he was referring to US President Donald Trump, who has been widely criticized for his handling of the pandemic. In other news, Indian newspapers from 1966 have surfaced in the French Alps under the ice of a melting Mont Blanc glacier. They are believed to be an Air India plane that crashed on the 26th of January 1966, killing all 117 people on board. The front pages report the landmark election of Indira Gandhi, India's first and to this day only female prime minister. Now, rising global temperatures are causing mountain glaciers to melt and polar ice sheets to retreat, and part of a glacier on Mont Blanc's Grand Jura peak was vulnerable to collapse. And now a heartwarming story from Kenya, from the Kenya-Somali border. Now, there used to be a fairly common sight on the Kenya-Somali border, but in recent years, the number of hiroli, or hunter's antelope, has dwindled to fewer than 500, and they're found nowhere else. They are listed as critically endangered. Now, one man, Abdullahi Hussein Ali, has now decided to rescue them by applying an ambitious conservation plan. He explains that their numbers have declined dramatically because there used to be some 5,000 elephants in the area roaming freely and maintaining open grasslands for them to graze. But now there are no elephants, and the loss of grazing habitat, together with drought and disease, have seen the numbers dwindle. Ali and members of local communities now plan to do what the elephants did. They are thinning down massive acacia trees and reclaiming the grazing areas and stepping up anti-poaching efforts. Ali is determined to downgrade the hirola in the next decade or so to the status of endangered and not critically endangered, and to have a population that is functional and flourishing throughout their historical geographical range. And now, sad news from the world of entertainment. In very sad news indeed, it was confirmed that actress Kelly Preston passed away on Sunday morning, aged 57, after a 2-year battle with breast cancer. Her husband, actor John Travolta, took to Instagram to pay her tribute, confirming that she had waged a courageous battle with the love and support of so many. Travolta and Preston met in 1987 on the set of the comedy The Experts and went on to tie the knot in September of 1991. The pair shared 3 children, 20-year-old daughter Ella, 9-year-old son Benjamin, and another son Jet, who sadly passed away in 2009, aged 16, following a seizure. And to that news, we say, may her soul rest in peace. Well, that's it for the news at 7 o'clock. We'll have another report at 8 o'clock right now. Here's another look at the sporting headlines with Graham.
Starting on the South African front first, 2 Western Province rugby players have both tested positive for COVID-19 after management and all players underwent an extensive testing procedure. The 2 players who tested positive, one uncapped Stormers squad member and one junior player, are both asymptomatic, and they will remain in isolation and will be monitored during this time. Then on to football news. Premier Soccer League Chairman Dr. Irvin Khoza yesterday addressed the media on plans for the resumption of the 2019-2020 PSL season after all league action stopped in March due to concerns over the spread of the coronavirus. Khoza confirmed that Gauteng has been chosen as the destination for the resumption of the season, and he believes they would need at least 6 weeks to complete the season and have committed to a 31st of August deadline. All players and staff will be tested twice before the restart, but no date has yet been provided on when the season will in fact resume. Then on to action that has resumed. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United, they remain in 5th place on the Premier League table. That was after playing out to a 2-2 draw against a spirited Southampton at Old Trafford last night. Southampton opened the scoring with a right-footed shot by midfielder Stuart Armstrong, and United equalised and took the lead just 10 minutes later with goals by Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial. Southampton's Michael Obafemi's 96th-minute equaliser. Talk about your Fergie time. That prevented United from jumping up into 3rd place on the log. There's only going to be just one Premier League fixture on the cards for tonight. That's Chelsea hosting bottom of the log Norwich City at Stamford Bridge from 9:15 tonight. We'll touch on the sporting headlines again in an hour's time. Right now, though, let's take a gander at the weather.
We absolutely love seeing how you wake up in your part of the country with the sunrise pictures that you share with us. Now, Joan Cameron says, good morning to the Expresso team with this skyline image of the ocean with orange tints from a rising sun from Britannia Bay in the west coast. Now, Britannia Bay, you start off the day at a low of 6 degrees with an afternoon temperature of 14 degrees. Segi Govender sent us the stunning image where the ocean meets the skyline with gorgeous hues of blue in Pennington, KZN. Now, strong winds of 39 kilometers per hour are coming your way with a low of 11 degrees and a high of 22 degrees. Thank you to both Joan and Sadie for your sunrise pictures. I trust you will have a feel-good kind of day. Now, the South African Weather Service has warned of yet another day of strong winds and raining conditions with some snowfall expected over the northern and eastern Cape today. The city of Cape Town has started with mopping up operations after strong winds and heavy rain pummeled the Cape Metro over the past few days. Now, numerous trees were uprooted in various neighborhoods and vehicles had to drive through foam and seawater that had spilled onto the promenade in Beach Road, Sea Point. The South African Weather Service has also warned of yet another day of strong winds and raining conditions with some snowfall expected over the northern and eastern Cape today. Now, here are the temperatures for the rest of the country. Clear skies are expected today for you, Polokwane, with a low of 3 peaking at 22 degrees. Umbombela, your range is 10 to 32. Pretoria, your minimum temperature is 3 peaking at 14. Johannesburg, 111. And then clear and cold conditions can be expected for Mahikeng today, ranging from 2 to 15 degrees. Klerksdorp, 112, and then a partly cloudy day expected for Kimberley, ranging from 2 to 10 degrees. Bloemfontein, 3-8, and then Richards Bay, 12-21 can be expected today. Pietermaritzburg, 2-16, and then mostly clear skies expected for South Africa's playground today, Durban, with a minimum temperature of 11, peaking at 20 with a 59% chance of rain. Umtata, your average is 4 to 12 degrees, and then strong winds can be expected in East London, ranging from 11 to 15 degrees. Craddock, 2-8, and then an evening shower can be expected in Port Elizabeth with a range of 9 to 13 degrees. George, 5-12, and then a 79% chance of rain for the mother city, Cape Town, today with a low of 9, peaking at 14. Worcester, 1-9. Sutherland starts the morning off with below zero at -3, peaking at only 4 degrees. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington, your low is 4, peaking at 14. But of course, whatever the weather, wherever you find yourself, make sure that you keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much, Jamie Lee. Yes, certainly, whichever part of the country you find yourself in this morning, be sure to make it a feel-good type of Tuesday. Today is very inspiring in terms of kids and health. It's all about kids and healthy kids and all of that. We're going to have a chat with Dr. Michael Moore around healthy kids.
And of course, we're also going to be delivering you with some tips and some info on what it means to get a fever, how to deal with it, how to treat it, and of course, just getting you through winter. So much info coming through still on the show, of course, Tubbs.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that you get those questions through and you keep it locked onto the show, but also on our Facebook page as well. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. We'll be looking at those questions. We'll see you after this.
Good morning, Mr. Mole. Mike, you there?
I am indeed. Graham, how you doing?
Good, and you, my friend?
Oh, cool. You guys are upgrading with Zoom, man. I'm impressed.
Oh, there we look at you.
Wow.
So you got your beautiful. I've been lusting after a seascape after seeing that.
Still there, man. It's the only spot in the home you can use. The rest is just family pictures and bad walls and Mr. Price.
General, yeah, in my house it's 3-year-old mayhem. That's it. Just around. Yeah.
It's light a bit hot, by the way. Or not?
Okay, thanks, Len.
A 3-year-old in lockdown must be hard, eh?
Yeah, interesting times, and this is quite pertinent because my little one went back to creche. It started last Wednesday, amidst all sorts of mixed messages, and of course, it's the Little Mouse House who are fantastic. I mean, they've done a really good job of managing the situation, but they're getting obviously a different directive almost daily, where it's one day it's masks and the next day it's no masks, and it's so they've had to roll with the punches, but. God, the difference for him to be able to have that social interaction. He's like a new man. He really is
well, that's kind of what we're talking about, Graham. I mean, those benefits far outweigh the risks of corona.
Yeah, and I know it's murky waters because there's new data coming in literally daily from the WHO and.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You are live with Expresso. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Time now for a very important discussion, especially for us parents out there who are really going through this as we speak. Just like us, our children's lives, they've been turned upside down by the COVID-19 pandemic. Between schools being closed, play dates being cancelled, children's routines are anything but routine at the moment. Add to this the snippets of the news that they hear, what they take on from what we are talking about, visuals that they see, anxieties that they pick up from us that we try to hide, but undoubtedly are going to filter through. I think the average child has become very unsettled. So before we get into talking about the anxiety amongst children, can we please touch on the anxiety that us adults are having to go through right now, having to send our children back to school? I talk about that, having lived through that this week. There is a fierce debate going on at the moment, and we want to know your take, and we want to get the take of a very good friend of ours as well this morning. Dr. Michael Mole joins us via video to chat a little bit more about a very dynamic topic that seems to be changing daily. First of all, Mike, how are you doing, my friend?
Graham, I'm good. I feel for you. A little 3-year-old running around the house, deciding to go back to school or play dates or crash rather. Very, very tough decision. But I think after today's discussion, I'm going to set your mind at ease.
Thank you so much. And I feel so much better for it. And we'll delve a little deeper into that because I can see the knock-on effect. But I did experience, and Lindsay and I both had a huge amount of anxiety, knowing how much he needed the social interaction, but also feeling the weight of the risk. Does the risk of sending your child back to school not outweigh the benefits of keeping them safe at home? Where do you sit on that very diverse topic at the moment?
Well, Graham, I mean, I respect the autonomy of parents and caregivers to decide really what's best, or for their own kids, and in terms of what's in the best interest of their children. And of course, children who've got an underlying health issue should be kept at home. Absolutely. But I've listened to the experts. I've read the research. And like you, I feel that the benefits of being at school really outweigh the benefits of keeping children at home. I mean, at-school benefits extend way beyond just the educational. For children who are used to being at school, being isolated has had a significant impact on their mental and their psychological well-being. I mean, you talked about that earlier. Plus, as you know, school closures affect children differently. So for many, going back to school also means food security and overall safety, which we often, overlook and don't think about. But I mean, children are feeling the stress of COVID as much as we are. And this ongoing, social interaction by way of face-to-face class and teacher support, albeit at a distance, really allows kids to cope more easily with those high levels of stress. And that's because social relationships are central to our well-being, and the lack of them often correlates with feelings of loneliness. And of course, loneliness in turn has been linked to high levels of stress, anxiety, and depression, not just for adults, but of course, for our kids too.
Mike, to put it plainly, I think my little boy is just sick of me, man. I think he is so intensely sick of the same environment, the same kind of stimulus. There are moments where it seems like he's been overstimulated with the wrong kind of stimulus, because that's all we can do in that space. And I can see the difference just after a couple of days of being back with his mates. He is like a new little man. So I certainly agree with you. I can see the shift on the anxiety level. But, and I know there is...
Like I said, I mean, he's 3, so you're not having to deal with maths and, you know, that kind of homework. So that's coming away, man. If there's a lockdown in years to come, you're facing that kind of, I don't know, my boy, help. My son came home the other day, in fact, and he said, Dad, how do I get taller? Shorter than all the other boys. I mean, we've been away for a couple of months, and next thing I get back, and I'm the shortest one, you know. So, yeah, back next week, we'll talk about how to get your kids taller.
I thought you were supposed to be helping my anxiety levels, man. Now I've got math homework to worry about for the next 15 years. But we'll get through it, man. At least I know I could give you a call if I have to. Look, Mike, you would know better than most that there is new data coming through literally every day. We are being sent very mixed messages, but obviously got sent a very emphatic message by our president this week. The numbers are rising. The storm is here. The curve, the top of the curve is here. This is a dangerous time. Surely then we should be taking extra precautions when we know that this is the peak of the infection rate.
Graham, I mean, you're right. It is worrying, but the research we have to date is consistent, and it hasn't actually changed. I mean, children biologically deal with COVID better than we as adults do. They're less likely to get sick. If they get infected, they have a milder disease, and they are unlikely to die from the virus. Sorry to say it so plainly, but that's really what the research says. And they're probably less infectious than adults. I mean, in a recent study published in Chinese children, 90% of those who tested positive for the disease had mild symptoms or none at all. Of course, I mean, there's a lot we still don't know about the virus. As you mentioned, we initially believed that children would be super carriers and infect adults around them. But actually, the most recent studies have found just the opposite, that children seldom infect adults and other kids. In fact, it's the other way around. We are more likely to infect our own kids.
Okay, I'm going to get into some of those symptoms and how they differ between adults and children, but thank you. You did promise that I'd be feeling a little bit better, and I do feel a little bit better. And this is about the time now that my little man is getting up and getting ready to go to school as well. So have an awesome day, my little boy. But Mike, we're going to continue, if you can, stick around, continue this discussion for just a little bit longer. We are focusing, obviously, on our children's health, what's most important to us during a very, very difficult time when we've got to make that choice to be sent our kids back to school. What are the implications thereof? What are the positive side effects of our kids being able to go back into that social environment? There are massive, massive decisions to make, and we will help you do that right here. So keep it locked.
This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. Now, going from a wave of chills to an increase in body temperature generally points towards an onset of a possible fever. But what causes a fever and how can we treat it? Well, this morning we're chatting to Dr. Fezile Mkhize about the causes of a fever in adults and children, and then, of course, how we should treat it. Dr. Fez, good to see you, man. How are you?
Hey guys, I am doing incredible today. It's been a bit of gloomy weather of late, but I'm still very chipper. I hope you guys are too.
We're good. I think let's start with a common question about this. What exactly is fever, and what are the signs and symptoms of a fever?
So I think the first thing we need to remember, because fever has been going around quite a lot, especially with the pandemic and the season that we're in, is that a fever is a symptom. And just by definition, it's an increase in what your normal body temperature would be. So it's always good to kind of remember roughly what the normal ranges are there, but it's essentially just that. Your body's temperature has increased because when the temperature increases in the body, it also starts to mobilize the immune system. And there's a thermostat that we all have right here in the brain at the hypothalamus, and that's actually what tells the body to now generally just increase its threshold for what the temperature should be, and that's kind of one of the first things your body does to fight against an infection.
All right, so talk to me about the average body temperature. What should it be? And if we are above this temperature, does that immediately then mean that you have a fever?
So generally, and from person to person, this ranges, but we use kind of an international standard of about 36.1. Some literature would say 36.5 to about 37.5, and that's degrees Celsius as just an average human's temperature, and that means you're well within the normal ranges. When you start kind of going a bit higher than that, then you start going into fever territory. We say anything above 38 degrees is what we call a fever. Short definition, if you're about 37.8, you have a fever just because of the fact that we've defined that by the literature, but we'll call it a low-grade fever. So it's quite low. Generally, it could be anything from maybe we're taking your temperature after you've eaten, after you've worked out, because all of those could also be physiological things that will increase your body temperature purely because your body's working a lot more.
Now, take us through what are the common causes of a fever, and is this the same for adults and children?
Generally, we are hammering this home: infection. And in the time that we're living in, the fever, as I say, one of the earliest symptoms that you get, and it's one of the things that tell you, okay, maybe I'm feeling like I'm quite hot, maybe I'm shivering, and I'm thinking maybe this might be a fever. I might have a thermometer at home. Ideally, you'd have an oral one. If you really want to get that A+, you get a rectal thermometer. I don't know a lot of people who are brave enough to have that one at home, unless they have kids and they do that to them. But once you start seeing that your temperature might be a bit elevated, it tells you maybe let me stay at home, give it a day or two, see if it climbs up. If it's above that 38 and it's consistently above that 38, then I might then have a fever and I might need to stay at home because of that big infection that we're all trying to fight, COVID. But there's a number of things that can actually cause your temperature to increase. Infections being the big one, pretty much takes up most of that spreadsheet. And then you can go into things like potentially cancer. You could have thyroid illnesses that could give you that. There's a whole host of what we call autoimmune diseases, so diseases of the immune system that can give you an elevated temperature. But generally, we talk infections because those are the ones we try to fight, and we also try to get a handle on them. And the biggest one that we're kind of fighting now, COVID, but of course, your flus and your common colds.
All right. So if you do have that fever, Dr. Fez, how long can you expect it to last?
So generally, with most people, they last less than 7 days. It's the first 3 days of kind of that period of infection that you'll have it being quite high, and you monitor and see if it comes down quite nicely. With some people, would call a subacute or fever would be anything up to even 14 days. And we talk about higher ranges. So if you're sitting at about the 38, 38.5, you are still okay. The fever isn't probably going to affect you too much. You can take some medication to maybe try to drop it a bit just because it is an uncomfortable feeling. But once you start hitting the very, very high thresholds, so above your 39s, moving up closer to your 40 degrees, then you really do need to actually go in and see somebody so we can give you far more potent medication than one you get over the counter to try to bring that down, because that can actually cause your body to not function correctly. Yeah. But generally, less than 7 days isn't actually that abnormal.
Talking about that treatment, how can we manage and treat a fever for adults and kids?
One of the biggest pharmacological ways of treating it, and we are talking kids here, we tend to give paracetamol. It's quite a good antipyretic, so it drops down the temperature within the fever, and it also helps with any of the pains and niggles that also are associated with infections, if that is the cause. So kids generally start to feel a bit better, a little less irritable. With adults, you can try that as well, but you can also use your non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, so your NSAIDs, your Brufens, make sure that you eat beforehand, but they also kind of try bring down that temperature through that anti-inflammatory action. And generally, those are the ones that we play around with in terms of dosages. We get to the more fancy things if we find that your temperature is really skyrocketing and you really are being affected by it, and it's hitting those, as I said, 39 degrees Celsius.
As always, Dr. Fez, we appreciate your time and expertise. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Very, very good to see your beautiful faces. And yeah, I'm always happy to share my knowledge.
Well, if you have been experiencing any of the symptoms described by Dr. Mkhize, then try Brufen, which can assist with a range of pain symptoms and help to reduce fever and treat inflammation. Experiencing pain? Brufen works where it hurts. Brufen 200 and 400 milligram is not suitable for children under the age of 12 years.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you. Yeah, welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show. We're jamming into your birthday. If it is your birthday, it's that time. We're doing it again, where we wish you, our loyal and absolutely loved viewers, a very happy birthday. And you know, today, if you're celebrating your birthday, well, you share your day with the American comedian, television host, author, Lonely Loves. Do you remember Lonely Loves?
Yes.
49 years old today. And Lonely has been in the game for 20 years now. Wow. She co-hosts on the talk show, The Real. We love her there. And she brings all the feistiness, all the spice to the table. A month ago, she actually published her second book titled I Tried to Change So You Don't Have to. True love lessons, or true life lessons, rather. And it's been highly, highly rated. But I think, unlike us, 2020 has been good to Lonely Loves. Happy birthday, Lonely Loves.
Do you know what? She was actually an electrical engineer before she became a TV host.
Really?
Yeah, side fact. We used to be friends back in the days.
Well, I suppose she still is an electrical engineer, because, I mean, I guess just because you don't practice, you don't throw it away.
Yeah, true, sir.
Wow.
Use it or lose it. I like that. Anyway, guys, it's time for you, our beautiful viewers, to start celebrating your birthdays. And we're starting off with Soilise, who's saying, I wish my daughter a happy and blessed 10th birthday. May you grow to be the best daughter and be showered with all the blessings. Love you lots from your mama. Oh, listen, she's just adorable.
And then, wow, keep it going, keep it flowing. The next one reads, happy 5th birthday to Bethel Tefera. May the good Lord bless you with many more years. And this comes from your mom, dad, Hannah, and auntie. They all love you, cutie pie. And then the next one reads, happy birthday, Ayanda. May your day be filled with joy and happiness. May you continue being a good boy. And this comes from your sisters, Angel and Zanele.
Ah, look at the coolness. Aiden, it's your birthday as well today. Aiden turns 8 years old today. We love you always. This is from your ma, Lydia, and the family. Tiffany and Tashwin. Yay! Tiffany and Tashwin. Hey, twin power there. God's richest blessings to my twins, Tiffany and Tashwin Langefeld, on their 12th birthday. We love you so much. This is from your daddy, your mummy, sis Lauren, as well there in the mix. Happy birthday.
And then we've got Skylar celebrating her 6th birthday, and it's to the best brother in the whole wide world, Skylar Ray Apollos. I hope you have a great day. Lots of
of love from your sister, Scarlett. Oh, isn't that just going to be a special one? I hope you guys have an incredible day. And last but not least, we've got Shlungi Seleli is having a happy 32nd birthday, and it's wishing you a day filled with happiness and a year filled with nothing but joy. Absolute love from Tandile. I hope you have
Happy
an
birthday,
incredible day.
Mlungi Seleli. Beautiful
Absolutely.
stuff.
And of course, if you would like to send your loved one a birthday message, do send us your birthday videos to 071 640 6551, or better yet, email your wishes to birthdays@cordova.tv. But right now, waiting back to the kitchen where Kat is making some bar. I don't know. Let's find out.
Well, we're definitely raising the bar, and I wish I could say that I was making it, but Chef Clem takes the honors in that regard. But as always, before we get cooking in the kitchen, a reminder to you that there are those in need during this time of COVID-19. Not just that, of course, we know that this past weekend, the cold front, oh my goodness, it was absolutely devastating. Chilling temperatures all across the country. So, of course, Woolies, along with the Gift of the Givers, have teamed up to distribute food care packs to families in need, and each bag is filled with a balance of protein. There's fresh fruit and vegetables and other staples in that bag, as well as hygiene products to help curb the spread of COVID-19, and we all know how important that is. Now, did you know that for as little as 10 Rand, you can provide one person with 3 meals for a day, and all you have to do is scan the QR code on your screen with the SnapScan app, or you can use your very own banking app and donate today, and any donation will help and make a big difference no matter how little it is. So remember to encourage all of your friends and your family, your neighbors, your colleagues, your chat groups to do exactly the same, and together we can make a daily difference. But here in the kitchen, hopefully the daily difference is also to inspire you with some delicious treats, and it's back to school and back to work, more or less for some people in South Africa, and a crunchy homemade snack bars are just what we need to get back into the vibe. So that's why Chef Clem is here taking dates, honey and seeds and oats and turning them into a good healthy snack, because good snacks, of course, a motivation on their own. You know, when you eat something healthy, you feel like, oh, I've done well.
Exactly. And I think this one is really awesome because it does pick you up at like the 3 o'clock slump.
Yes.
For us, the 3 o'clock slump happens a little earlier because we've been awake since yesterday. We've been here today.
Basically.
But these are really great. It's also, the truth of the matter is when you do want a snack, it's the convenience of things that are around you that are going to end up in your mouth. So if you make something like this and you have it like beautifully in a jar and you know that this is better for you than something else that you would normally reach for. It's really, really great.
Look, we're not saying treats are completely out the window and trash. We're just saying, on the general, try and keep it nice and healthily balanced, and then, you know, every now and then treat yourself. But if you can have something like this that is super healthy, then, hey, go with it.
But when you close your eyes and you eat this, you get the amazing textures, and you also get amazing caramelized flavor. Like, someone actually, cameraman Shawnee ate one earlier, and he was like, is this a crunchy? It tastes crunchy.
It's so healthy, but
and I was
delicious.
like, it's good for you. So it's really great. So, I mean, if you can punk a cameraman, you can punk your kids.
Because they get to see it firsthand.
There we go, exactly. So let's just check this out. Beautiful coconut going in there. We know coconut has a lot of oil in there as well. Good for you. So that good fat.
Yeah.
That's in there.
We like that.
Normally I would toast this if I used it for any other dish, but it's gonna go to the oven, and in the oven is where it's actually gonna like release those oils. It's gonna become so perfumed. Even right now, dried, I can smell the coconut, and I'm like feeling tropical.
We don't eat enough coconut.
We don't.
Really.
And there's no reason for it. We should be. It's really, really good. So in some sesame seeds are going. And again, normally I would toast these. But not. It's
a lot of sesame.
Exactly, but I mean, there's a lot of like those good oils that are in there. We don't eat enough nuts and seeds anyway, like coconut. This is a good way to get all those oils in, and it's honestly, it's the better, delicious tasting way to actually get it all in.
Hello.
Some rolled oats. That's gonna go in there.
Oh, I like the nice big kernels.
Those big chunky little flakes. Absolutely, they're really, really great. So I'm using almond flour now, but I'm experimenting with kind of flours right now. So if you have oats like this, you can actually turn it into oat flour by just like blending it super fine. Yeah, and then use the oat flour instead of almond flour. But almond flour also beautiful flavor that you're gonna get from there.
I mean, almond flour is it nothing more than just like super blended almonds?
Yes, that's basically what it is.
Okay, cool.
But it gives you this beautiful texture when you actually bake with it. It gives you like a dense flavor, but as soon as you bite into it, it just crumbles. That's what the almond flavor does. That's what that oat flour will do as well if you add that to it.
Lovely.
So some beautiful pumpkin seeds going in.
Oh, I love those.
Like, it's things we don't really eat a lot of.
Which you should be.
And then some quinoa.
Oh,
the hilarity of how people pronounce this one.
Quinoa.
Quinoa.
Eh?
Quinoa.
Queen.
It's quinoa. It's spelled like very, very, very foreign, but it's quinoa. We're not going to insult any people right now by saying...
Like, really, we could have just done it with a K and it would have been, you know...
We should have left it there.
KH, maybe? CH? No, that's with quinoa. Or something else. China. No.
No, I don't know. So that's going in there. So like you said, yeah, superfood. We know it's going to give you some really good fiber in there as well. It also brings everything together. Then vanilla. Why is vanilla like on my mind this winter? I'm like, we need a lot of vanilla in the food.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
so normal recipes say like 1 teaspoon of vanilla, but which is understandable because vanilla doesn't need a lot of to like carry through.
Yes.
But if you actually like double up the dosage and you add a little more, it really comes through.
My goodness.
And also we know that vanilla, or I mentioned before, in restaurants that I worked in, we used to wipe the menu with vanilla water. It stimulates your appetite, so you want to eat more.
Oh,
yeah.
man, you were playing us.
Since back in the day.
Like, did you get a couple of people that you'd see looking at the menu and they go,
don't lick your menus in restaurants, South Africa. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't lick your menus anywhere.
Oh, of course. Of course. Okay, so that's going in there. Then I'm going to add some sunflower seeds going in. All the seeds. All the seeds. A little bit of coconut oil. This is also just going to help it come together.
Nah. Coconut, oh my goodness.
Coconut
this is
on
coming together quite nicely. I'm liking it.
It's coming together really well. And then, I mean, get a bigger bowl.
And add more seeds.
And add more seeds.
Like, what other seeds do we not eat that, well, enough of that we should be?
Linseed is really great, and it's not that expensive. The one thing is when you do work with linseed, you gotta like crush it a bit.
Yes.
I learned that on Oprah.
Oh, really? You saw Oprah crushing seeds?
She was on this whole vibe about linseed.
I mean, if Oprah's crushing that seed, then you gotta crush that seed.
Exactly. If it's good enough for Oprah. Hey.
Come on now.
So linseeds are really great. Also, if you want to talk about a budget like fact and you want to add some like cheaper nuts in there, salted peanuts all the way. That's going to give you such nice flavor and crunch and saltiness. It's really going to be amazing.
Seeds.
All the seeds. What other seeds? What else you got?
Flax seeds. I got
flaxseed and linseed.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What else you got for me?
Chia seeds.
If Raul was in the kitchen, now Raul's my friend. Can I just say, Raul's answer would be big seeds, small seeds.
Hey.
You know, I actually in my head going home yesterday, I actually came up with a jingle in my head with Raul and like talking about the mints. Because like we spoke about the versatility of mints, and I was like, with mints you can make big burgers, small burgers, medium burgers. In my head, I was like, Raul, bringing the melodies through.
Nice.
Okay, that's what I learn in the kitchen when I'm here in the morning. Okay, go. So you mix it all together, these beautiful dates. Dates are Mother Nature's candies. They're absolutely amazing.
Listen, dates are amazing, hey. My goodness, they are such a source of energy.
I always keep one aside.
Yeah?
Kukle said I must do that out of respect for Tabiso because it's the only date he's ever going to get. So I keep it on the...
la, my Gudu.
Because we're always giving Kukle a hard time. This is her one. So whenever I see dates, I don't keep one aside for respect for Tabiso. In we go with our nuts.
You sound like an ancestor. Here's one for the ancestors.
One for the ancestors. Okay, you pack it all in there, pack it down tightly. I've got enough mixture for 2, which is really, really great. I'm going to bake this one off. You can also set this in your container and then freeze it. This goes into the oven. It comes out beautiful like that. The kids are happy, you're happy, everybody's happy. Tabiso gets a date. It's amazing.
Wow.
And you're not going to get that midday slump.
What more do you want?
Is Tabiso standing behind me?
No, it's Raul. Raul is just like, Raul, what other seeds would you suggest we put into this mixture?
I don't have the seeds. I just want 3 things, guys. Can I please have a small bar, a medium bar, and a big bar?
Hey, bars!
Dropping bars.
Bars all day, man. Bars. He's got bars. All right. Thank you very much, Chef Clem. Absolutely wonderful, beautiful, delicious, and very healthy for you. Try it out at home. You can find the recipe on our website, expressoshow.com. And as always, thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
Delicious.
Michael, have you got me? Are you back?
I can hear you, Graham, yes.
Ah, fantastic, fantastic. So, Michael, can you believe it? About a week and a half ago, I went in for a microdiscectomy to have a chunk of my, a disc in my back removed.
A discectomy, my word, okay.
So I had massive issues with my sciatic nerve that just went beyond bearable for a while, and after MRIs and scans, they found that a large chunk of one of my discs had slipped into my spinal cavity and was crushing the nerve. So I had to go in for microdiscectomy on Friday. Yeah, but I'm in awe of modern medicine.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. As always, thank you so much for keeping it tuned on what has been a very important and I think interesting discussion. We are looking at weighing up the pros and cons involved with sending our kids back to school, the dangers or possibly the anxieties attached to that versus the massive benefits that our children experience being back in that social environment, continuing their education. And of course, Dr. Michael Molnar joins us to continue to ease my anxieties, which you really did in that first session, so thank you so much. You were talking about, you briefly said, and again, I preface this by saying that new data is coming in daily, but this is working off what we know, and Mike has really gone out of his way to get up to date on what we know globally when it comes to how we're experiencing COVID-19 as adults and as children. You mentioned that very different for children, and new data coming in daily in that regard. When we look at COVID-19 symptoms, how do they exhibit in children versus adults? Because we know that grown-ups can be hit pretty hard when we look at the symptoms. Does it differ in children? How do children exhibit the symptoms of COVID-19?
Well, ironically, Graham, other than the fact that I'm never going to lick a menu again, I'm still trying to back to symptoms between adults and kids. The symptoms are ironically the same, to confuse parents even more. Also similar to those common viral respiratory infections and other childhood illnesses. So how can you tell the difference? But that said, the larger studies down on COVID have found that it tends to prefer the upper respiratory tract than the lower respiratory tract, all right? So sort of upper airway disease, if you like. And for children that are symptomatic, the most common symptoms of COVID include things like fever, tiredness, body pains, and cough, just like adults.
Now, this is always something very difficult to broach when we talk about babies, and there have been reports of babies being diagnosed with COVID-19. What is the infection rate amongst the very, very young?
Well, again, to alleviate any concerns you might have, Graham, the infection rate seems to be very, very low. Studies looking at babies as young as a few weeks old who have tested positive have found very, very mild symptoms, which is great. Whereas infants and young children, obviously with serious underlying conditions, your cancers, your heart disease, those are obviously at high risk of complications. But generally, kids, low, very mild symptoms.
And what about when it comes to pregnancy? Is there a risk of mother-to-child transmission?
Yeah, so Graham, that's a great question. In fact, in a study published last month, and this is unusual to have a study published around pregnancy because generally we avoid that, but it was found that the transmission of COVID-19 from mother to baby during pregnancy is uncommon, which is great news. The study, in fact, also found that babies who were born with COVID were mostly asymptomatic. So from a baby perspective, from a pregnancy perspective, it seems like COVID really doesn't touch that particularly hard.
What should a parent do if they are worried about their child having the coronavirus, as you say, that upper respiratory system, if they are noticing some kind of symptoms that they immediately get the alarm bells? What should they do?
Yeah, Graham, in a word, I would say intuition. There's no greater instruction booklet than a parent's intuition, particularly your mom, sorry to say, to all our dads. But it's times like these,
I agree with you, man, don't worry.
when that's really the only thing that can be trusted. I've often had a mother come and, bring a child to me, and if she says there's something wrong with the child, even if I can't see anything wrong with this kid, I will take the mother's intuition because moms just know. But if your child starts to show any symptoms, especially a cough or a fever or unusual tiredness, we call that fatigue, I would say contact your doctor or one of Hello Doctor's doctors, of course. But don't go there. Phone ahead. Give them a call on the phone and talk through the symptoms because it's very likely that you will be able to treat your child at home. But there are guidelines to follow for what you and your family will obviously need to do. So phone through. Your doctor will probably also tell you what to look out for so that you can act quickly to get your child the treatment they need if those conditions change. And generally the thing to to be looking out for as a parent is if that shortness of breath in a child becomes quite marked. You can hear the child battling a little bit. That's probably a good time to get to a doctor.
But I love that, and just trust your instinct. Gents, listen to your lady. She probably knows best. Michael, thank you so much. Once again, I'm gonna reiterate, all of us need to be just wearing those masks and weathering the storm. We are approaching, obviously, the peak of the curve, as we have been told here in the country. That just means all of us need to steel ourselves and just think about the person next to us. But Michael, thank you so much for spreading the right kind of information this morning, and for the research. I know you've had to delve quite deep into what's going on daily here, so I really do appreciate it.
Anytime, mate. Like my youngest Nathan said the other day, he said, guys, here's a clever idea. On your mask, get set, go. So right. Gotta wear your masks, gotta wash your hands, gotta keep your distance.
And I hope he figures out how to get a little bit taller there as well. He certainly deserves it. But Mike, we absolutely love you. And to all of the parents out there that have been going through what I've been going through over the last week, reintroducing their children into that schooling environment, the positives, the social interactions far outweigh the risk. Thankfully, we are now discovering, and we are getting more data to prove that every day, that the infection rate amongst children is incredibly low. Very difficult for them to pass it on to adults as well. So think about that as you consider sending your child back into that school, that social environment.
You are still keeping it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, something we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now is coughs. Now, coughs can come in many different forms and can range anywhere from a week to 8 weeks. But before seeking professional medical advice, one can take the right steps to self-medicate and speak to their pharmacist to alleviate a mild cough. Now, we chat to Jackie Mayman from the Independent Community Pharmacy Association on what to discuss with your pharmacist when it comes to self-medicating a cough. Good morning, Jackie, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, and hello to both of you. I hope you're keeping warm and dry.
We're definitely trying our best here in the studio. Now, Jackie, before we go about seeking costly medical advice, speaking to your pharmacist is a great way for professional medical assistance, I'm assuming. But what does it mean to self-medicate, and when is it advised or not advised to do so?
Firstly, costly medical advice. Getting medical advice doesn't necessarily have to be costly. I mean, you can pick up a phone and speak to your pharmacist at any time. It costs you nothing, but it can save your health quite a lot. So self-medicating is when you take medicines without any professional guidance. And I would say that if you've got mild symptoms that you know the cause is like a paper cut or something like that, absolutely fine to self-medicate. If it's a very mild cough, also fine just to use a honey and lemon or a general cough syrup. But self-medicating, one also needs to be very careful. And I would say, firstly, best advice, don't ever use anybody else's prescription medicine. And don't self-medicate if the symptoms are severe, if they're persistent, or if you've got any underlying conditions. Then it's best to get some medical advice.
I like that, because I'm someone that when I have maybe a symptom of something, I want to first go do my own little thing before actually asking medical advice, But what should we be asking our pharmacists if we have recently caught a cough?
So I think when you walk in there, you need to say to your pharmacist, what sort of cough have I got? What are the causes? What are the symptoms? And how can I best treat this? Your pharmacist then will ask you a lot of questions, and it's very important. They need to get a medical history. So we're going to be asking you to describe the cough. Is it a wet cough? Is it a dry cough? Are you coughing up any phlegm? Is it discolored? Is your chest tight? Have you got a headache? A runny nose? The other thing that's very important is that we need to find out if you have any underlying conditions. So are you diabetic? Do you have high blood pressure? And are you allergic to anything? So these are just a few of the things that we would then ask you after you've asked us for assistance.
All right, Jackie, so I think I am with you now. So once we have established what type of cough we have and whether or not it's a fever, when can we expect to start feeling better? I know I'm one that's always just wanting to get straight back into the game as soon as I can, but where does it come to when we're talking about that?
So very often a cough will follow on from a cold or from flu. Now, a cold, generally, your cough is going to be over within a few days, about a week. If it's a flu, and this is where your pharmacist will be able to assist you, with flu, the cough can persist for longer. And I would say to all the viewers out there, if you have a cough that has been going on for weeks and weeks and it has an associated fever with it, you most definitely need to seek medical advice. Right now, the hot topic is COVID. So, you know, fever and a cough and a scratchy throat, absolutely go to your pharmacist, or at the very least, go online and do the symptom checker for COVID-19.
What would you then say are some of the medicine essentials to get us through a winter cough?
Let the pharmacist find out in your family, are there any allergies? What conditions are there? And we can recommend a general cough mixture, which you can then self-medicate with for mild coughs. I would say as well, you need to have something to reduce fever. So this could be paracetamol or aspirin. Again, ask your pharmacist, which is what is best for your family. And then a multivitamin, some vitamin C, and perhaps one of these menthol or eucalyptus chest rubs are your essentials for coughs and colds during this winter.
I love that, almost like a bit of a prevention, and those essentials you mentioned I think are so important for everybody. But often when we haven't included that in our regime, we often get to a point where, like you mentioned, after 3 weeks we still have a cough, we still have certain symptoms, and then we start thinking about things like antibiotics and those extreme solutions. Is this something we should even consider, and what are the cautions when it comes to antibiotics?
First of all, 90% of coughs are viral and do not require an antibiotic at all. If you've had this cough and the cough has been going on for 3 weeks, but it's been the same all along, then I would say you probably don't need an antibiotic, and we need to have a look. Have you perhaps got a bit of a sinusitis, a postnasal drip, or possibly you just had a lot of phlegm in the chest that we need to get out? Bear in mind as well, smokers very often have coughs which carry on for a long time, don't require an antibiotic. When you need to go and speak to your pharmacist and see if you should be referred to the doctor for an antibiotic is when you've had a cough or cold, you've started getting better, and then suddenly your symptoms get worse and your cough really gets bad. You start getting a fever, your chest is tight and sore, then absolutely we need to refer you and see if you require an antibiotic.
Jackie Raymond, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for taking time, just to educate us on those coughs and also the preventative measures that we need to take in order that we don't get those coughs that you're talking about. So thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. Always great chatting to you.
Have a beautiful day. Now, your pharmacist certainly is your greatest weapon. And with it being winter, we know we need all the help we can get. So Dialink Junior is specially formulated for alleviating coughs in young children. And it's tartrazine and alcohol-free, are recommended for children for 2 years and older.
Dialink Junior clears a wet cough and thins and loosens chest mucus, suitable for children from the age of 2 years.
Down. I tend to become somewhat healthy, but like
So I'm chatting to Umalume Musa here. He's owned a small clothing factory for years now, and he's always inspired me with his success. But like a lot of businesses, this lockdown's hit him hard. So he spoke to his banker, and they've put together a tailor-made relief solution for him to help his business and his people get through this. Making your bank your business partner, that's a habit worth keeping.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on SABC3. Now, as we all know, the economic impact of COVID-19 continues to be felt and will most likely be felt for a very, very long time to come. And against this uncertain backdrop, many people are feeling severely stressed and may resort to making drastic financial decisions. But here to help us stay financially level-headed is one of our favorite friends in finance, Sisandile Xikido, the head of retail investments from Nedbank. Sisa, it's great to see you again. How are you?
I'm great, thank you, and thanks for having me. Morning, guys. So nice to see you guys again.
Thank you. Now we know that COVID-19, of course, has had just such a massive impact on, the broader economy, but also on businesses and people at the very smallest level. But can you offer some insight and maybe some knowledge into what is currently happening emotionally and financially from a South African perspective?
So there's this report that I read recently by a research house called Kantar, and they are estimating that South Africans who are afraid of being impacted financially, or at least considering the financial impact of COVID, the percentage is sitting at 83% versus the global average of about 75%. So South Africans are worried. So whether it's a salary cut directly or completely losing your salary, or having your spouse or sister or someone who is closely linked to you losing their salary, and that will then impact you because you then have to support them, it becomes that kind of a ripple effect. So I think a lot of South Africans are worried of being impacted because they will be impacted even if it's not directly.
Oh, yeah. Now, given that people are so stressed, how do we ensure that we don't make drastic financial decisions now that will affect us later?
I think I always have this conversation with people about storms, right? When you don't know when the storm will pass, sometimes you just need to sit tight and let it rain. And when it's done raining, you kind of find the rainbow again and kind of find your rhythm again. And I think we're all in some kind of storm right now, whether it's emotionally, financially, or just feeling out of rhythm. And sometimes you just need to keep going and focus on the goal. If your finances haven't been impacted, you're one of the lucky ones. And you should just continue to focus on your goals. Your financial goals aren't going to change. Yes, the world has changed. It's no longer the same, but there is going to be another life after this, another life after COVID, another life after this crisis. And you want to be financially okay. You want to have your rainy day funds, and you don't want to be eating into your investments if you don't have to.
Yeah. Talk to me about the advice that you have for people in order for them to budget more strategically and economically during this time.
I think it's very important to have a budget review, and I usually say every 3 months, but I think the last 3 months of our lives have been such a roller coaster that one should perhaps even do it maybe every two months or even monthly, to have a view of what it is you are saving on versus how much you're earning. So if you aren't like me, for instance, I'm working from home, so I'm saving quite a bit on petrol, right? And I know some of my colleagues are too, but a lot of those colleagues also have families that they need to feed, so they need to buy groceries more often. So it's very important to keep track of what it is you're spending versus what it is you're earning. So it's very important, again, to keep your mind on the goal, or your eye on the goal, that you don't stop your 50, 30, 20 rule, If you have a pie, 50% of that pie should be going to your essentials. So your rent, your bond, your car repayments, etc. 30% of that needs to go to some of your wants and your shopping, etc. But 20%, if you still can, of your gross income, please do try and save or invest that and put that away, or at least service your debt.
Yeah. Now, at such a time as this, when things are a little bit more, in fact, considerably more difficult, if someone feels that they have no choice but to dip into their savings or investments, what advice do you have for them there?
Katlego, I'd say unless it's absolutely necessary, like you're saying, it's absolutely necessary. You can't do without it. It's either child's school fees or it's medical bills or something that's really, really necessary. I would say leave your savings alone, because it's very difficult to start again. And remember why you started. So in the event where you do have to dip into your savings, try and have a plan of how you recover again, and at least plan to recover again. And also, don't be so hard on yourself. If you do need to go into your rainy day fund, that's why you've got it.
Yeah.
That's why it's important for us to have rainy day funds for situations like these, where we're faced with a situation we've never been faced with before. Financially, emotionally, we don't know what's around the corner. And it's important for us to have a little room to wiggle around when things get this tight. So I'd say dip into your funds, try not to deplete your funds unless it's absolutely necessary, and try and have a plan to recover.
Yeah. Sisa, as always, I feel financially calmer after chatting to you. Thank you for making the time available.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Well, there's an opportune time for you right now to sit with your money and see where you can save and make those budget cuts today if you can. Thank yourself later. Right now is the time to be thinking long game, long game. And if you're looking for the right savings or investment account, then you can visit nedbank.co.za for everything you need to know.
Thank you very much, team. Let's take a final look at those news headlines this morning. We start off here in South Africa, where the National Taxi Council, SANTACO, has called on the government to assist the taxi industry by providing protective equipment. This comes after President Cyril Ramaphosa announced on Sunday that taxis can operate at full capacity over short distances as long as they comply with new safety protocol. However, over long distances, taxis may only be 70% full. SANTACO spokesperson Thabiso Molelekwe says that they expect government assistance because some of the measures that need to be put in place will be costly. This while the industry has not made much money in recent months. President Cyril Ramaphosa has expressed his deep condolences after the death of South Africa's ambassador to Denmark, Zinzi Mandela. Mandela died at a Johannesburg hospital yesterday morning. She was 59 years old. Mandela was the youngest daughter of former President Nelson Mandela and freedom fighter Winnie Madikizela Mandela. Following her parents' separation, Zinzi was the stand-in First Lady of South Africa until her father remarried in 1996. In international news, Ebola is spreading in the Western Democratic Republic of Congo, with nearly 50 known cases across a large region bordering the DRC and the Central African Republic. The World Health Organization said this yesterday. Since the 1st of June, 48 cases have been confirmed, with a further 3 probable cases and a total of 20 deaths. The World Health Organization's top emergencies expert, Dr. Mile Ryan, expressed his concern and said it's still a very active outbreak. The previous outbreak in the eastern Congo that was declared over last month saw 2,277 deaths in the space of 2 years. The coronavirus pandemic is going to get, quote, worse and worse if certain governments do not take decisive action to curb the spread of the disease, the head of the World Health Organization warned yesterday. Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said there are dangerous increases in cases in countries where proven measures to reduce risk are not implemented or followed. He said mixed messages from leaders were undermining public trust in attempts to bring the pandemic under control. It is thought he was referring to U.S. President Donald Trump, who was, or rather has been, widely criticized for his handling of the pandemic. And now, can you guess which one is in front? Well, an image of 2 zebras is taking social media by storm because no one can agree which one is looking at the camera. Sarosh Lodi, a wildlife photographer from Nagpur out in India, took the picture in the Masai Mara in Kenya, where he captured 2 zebras at the perfect moment, creating an incredible optical illusion. He says he was clicking a dazzle of zebras when he saw 2 zebras approaching each other. They kept coming closer, and to his quote, utter amusement, they reached an alignment that caused a perfect illusion. Lodi, a wildlife photographer for more than 2 decades, says that more images remain forever memorable, and the image sparked a social media debate this week after a forest officer and friend of Lodi's, Pravin Kaswan, posted the picture on his Twitter page and asked users to guess which zebra is facing front. Now, can you tell which zebra is in front? If you guessed the one on the left, you'd be correct. Lodi confirmed the zebra on the left is indeed the one looking at the camera. And that, another quick look at what's happening in the world of entertainment. In some rather fun news, American media personality Chrissy Teigen revealed through a series of hilarious tweets that she has ties to South Africa. The model turned cookbook author responded to a fan on Twitter asking her what her favorite dish from Mzansi is, to which she responded, bunny chow, when probed on what had brought her to the country before she disclosed that she'd actually had a boyfriend in Durban who often cooked for her, adding that South Africa was one of her favorite places on earth. She said that while she enjoyed visiting Cape Town and that she had a rather wonderful time at a past Durban July, she really loves the entire country and can't pick one area because it's incredibly special. Commentators on Twitter were quick to joke that there is one lucky guy walking around Durban who can tell everyone that he once dated Chrissy Teigen. That's where we leave it for this morning. Here's Graham with a final look at the sports.
Oh, thank you so much. Let's wrap up the sporting headlines still affecting every level of sport. It seems 2 Western Province rugby players have tested positive for COVID-19. That was after management and all players underwent an extensive testing procedure. So the 2 players who tested positive, one uncapped Stormers squad member and one junior player, are both asymptomatic, and they will remain in isolation and will be monitored during this time. Then locally on the footballing front, Premier Soccer League chairman Dr. Ivan Koza yesterday addressed the media on plans for the resumption of the 2019-2020 PSL season. That was after all league action stopped in March due to concerns over the spread of the coronavirus. Koza confirms that Gauteng has been chosen as the destination for the resumption of the season, and he believes they would need 6 weeks to complete the season and have committed to a 31st of August deadline. All players and staff will be tested twice before the restart, but yet no date has been provided on the season, or at least when it will resume, but we expect that will come shortly. Then staying with football, that has resumed. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United, they remain in 5th place in the Premier League table. That was after playing out to a 2-2 draw against a very spirited Southampton at Old Trafford last night. Southampton opened the scoring with a right-footed shot by midfielder Stuart Armstrong. United then equalised and took the lead just 10 minutes later with goals by Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial. Southampton's Michael Obafemi's 96th minute equaliser prevented United from jumping up to 3rd place. Then we throw forward to just one Premier League fixture this evening. That's Chelsea looking for their European spot. They host bottom of the log Norwich City at Stamford Bridge. That at 9:15 tonight. That's a wrap of your sport for this morning. Let's take one last look at the weather.
Thank you so much, G. Now we are a few minutes into the final hour of the show. Here is a final look at the forecast for today. Now, thank you to our viewers for sending through your sunrise images and videos. We started off the morning with this video sent in by Robin of stormy sea foam following the intense cold front in the Western Cape, which has left pedestrians drenched and some properties even damaged. Thank you to Joan Cameron from Britannia Bay for your sunrise image. The fresh breeze you are experiencing will carry you from 6 degrees this morning to 14 degrees in the late afternoon. And then last but definitely not least, Sachi Govender from Pennington in KZN can expect a southwesterly wind of 37 kilometers per hour. Keep safe, keep warm, and keep those pictures going and flowing on our social media platforms using that all-important hashtag Expresso Show. Now, the city of Cape Town has started with mopping up operations after strong winds and heavy rain plummeted the Cape Metro over the past few days. Now, numerous trees were uprooted in various neighborhoods. Roofs were blown off in areas such as Manenberg, Heideveld and Lavender Hill, and vehicles had to drive through foam and seawater that had spilled onto the promenade in Beach Road Sea Point. Now, the South African Weather Service has warned of yet another day of strong winds and raining conditions, with some snowfall expected over the northern and eastern Cape today. Now, here are the temperatures for the rest of the country. Clear skies are expected today for you, Polokwane, with a low of 3, peaking at 22 degrees. For you, Umbombela, your range is 10 to 32 degrees. Pretoria, your minimum temperature is 3, peaking at 14. Johannesburg, 11. And then clear and cold conditions can be found in Mahikeng weekend today with a minimum temperature of 2 and a maximum of 15. Klerksdorp 1, 12, and then a partly cloudy day for you, Kimberley, ranging from 2 to 10 degrees. Bloemfontein 3, 8, Richards Bay 12, 21. If you do find yourself in Pietermaritzburg, your minimum temperature is 2, peaking at 16. And then mostly clear skies can be found in South Africa's playground Durban today with a minimum temperature of 11, peaking at 20 with a 59% chance of rain. Mthatha, your low is 4, peaking at 12, and then strong winds in East London today with a low of 11, peaking at 15. Cradock 2, 8, and then an evening shower can be expected in Port Elizabeth, ranging from 9 to 13 degrees. George, your low is 5, peaking at 12, and then a 79% chance of rain can be found in the mother city Cape Town today with a low of 9, peaking at 14. Worcester 1, 9, Sutherland starts the morning off with below 0 at -3, peaking at only 4 degrees today. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington, your low is 4, peaking at 14. But of course, whatever the weather, wherever you find yourself, make sure that you keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Are you tired of conference calls, connectivity problems, and need to go on site or be in the boardroom? Well, Mango are soaring the skies once again. As we navigate through this new normal, businesses need to recover, and Mango cares about business. For affordable and reliable business and essential travel, visit www.flymango.com. Go discover more. Go Mango. Book now. Terms and conditions apply. Well, what a weekend it was here in South Africa. The cold front smashing the Cape border, or the coastline, if you will. I don't know if you saw some of the videos that were going on.
I saw some crazy affairs going on in the ocean. It looks so incredible. I think it's algal bloom or bio bloom that's actually occurring. It's like this decayed matter in the ocean that essentially kind of gets churned up in the waves and the wind and creates this absolute magnificent show.
Algal bloom?
Algal bloom, yeah. I think that's what it's called.
You're going way...
You know why though, Kat? Because I actually chased this last winter. I tried to get an Instagram picture with like the waves coming up behind me, and it just didn't work out. So maybe I should go.
A lot of people were doing that.
I see you catching on though, Kat. I see you warming your soul up there with a nice little moment. You can't deal with the cold anymore either.
With the temperatures what they were, you do need a bit of a warm filler, you know what I mean? And we actually got some crazy footage from roving surf reporter Dion Bing of what was happening in Sea Point. I don't know if you saw some of the stuff, but check this out quickly. That's insane, man. I mean, some people were really willing to risk it to get that shot. Oh, I mean, look at that. What on earth?
Ken, I think I'd probably join them, man. It looks like so much fun. Really? It's like sludgy snow almost, I'd imagine. How much fun does that look like? Come on, guys.
And then you smell like Sebastian.
Algal bloom.
The crab. Sebastian the crab under the sea for like the next week. But apparently that algal bloom foam that you talk about is actually quite dangerous. It's very corrosive.
So what I do know is, just from my life-saving background, it does depend on what coastal region you're in.
Yes.
So you do get certain instances, I know, where you can actually, if you're close to it, some of those bubbles that burst actually release some sort of a toxin.
Yes.
I'm not sure that that's the case right now. It looks like fun and games, but no one's cleared that professionally, so I can't say.
Either way, it's just like lifesaver stuff. The rest of us would just be like hanging around there at higher altitudes and be like, hey, Nienzani, what are you doing? No, we don't. We don't do that. You can, you must do that.
I'll video you from here.
It's madness. It's absolute madness. Yeah, but anyway, that was the action that was happening on the Atlantic seaboard this past weekend with the cold front hitting shore. And of course, those winds were just incredible as well, right?
So much magic, so much
I'd rather stay warm, to be honest.
So much soul warming up right now, guys. Of course, you want to warm up your soul and get rid of all these blues that you're seeing on the TV right now. Then grab yourself a super air moment. This is a heartwarming stuff indeed.
What's better than a sugar-coated, deliciously crispy golden brown donut and 100% Arabica beans brewed to perfection? Treat yourself and warm up your morning with a little sweetness from McCafe with the all-new mini donut and cappuccino offer. A little lovin' doesn't have to cost a lot. Great coffee, simple.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
For all business and essential travel, visit flymango.com. Go discover more. Go Mango.
Now, with the current regulations under lockdown level 3, airlines in South Africa have been given the green light for a phased return to the skies. Exciting news. And Travel Star's Linda Baum joins us on a video call now to chat about this new phase and, of course, her recent travel experience that saw her on a Mango flight from Cape Town to Durban. So exciting. I'm so jealous as the resumption of domestic flights are rolled out in 3 phases, right, Jamie Lee? And here with the inside scoop on what you need to do, or need to know, I suppose, when the new normal for flying in South Africa as airports reopen is Linda Baum. Linda, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thank you, as always, for having Travel Start on. Thank you for having me on.
Like Tavisa said, now we have FOMO right now, seeing that you've been traveling all over. But let's start, lockdown level 3 now allows airlines in South Africa for a phased return to the skies. We're all happy about this. But who exactly is eligible to fly? And, how are domestic flights being rolled out in 3 phases going forward?
That's a really good question because they are restrictions still in place. So my biggest recommendation is that you go straight to the travelstart.co.za website. There is an incredible page there which is situated on the homepage of our website. Click onto that. It's Essential Travel page. It tells you everything you need to know about who and where you can travel in today's new normal. So at the moment, anyone traveling for business and have got the correct work permit to travel, you're in. If you are caring for a sick family member, if you're going back for a funeral, if you're relocating between a city or a province, you can fly with correct permits. It's all really found on that Essential Travel page. So please go there. There's certain forms that you will need that have to be signed by authorities. And then there's forms like your health declaration form, which just have to be signed by yourself and handed in at the airport. The second phase we'll see will be the return to leisure travel, so domestic leisure travel. And even this past week, the fact that there's more airports opening, all part of the next stage. And then finally, we will see, hopefully, all borders reopening when the time is safe and we can all just get on holiday again, guys. That would be a dream come true for everyone, I think. But so far, it's really good for us to be as safe as possible, and really our South African protocols that have been put in place are really impressive and are leading the way in tourism at the moment.
Linda, I have to applaud TravelStart for the amount of work that you put in making this process as clear and direct and simple as possible. I mean, having gone onto your website myself, you really have laid it out in terms of who is eligible to travel. That's fantastic. It makes it so easy. But take us through the procedure from booking your flight, then, now that you are eligible, to checking in.
So once you've made your booking, you've made your selection, you've got your e-ticket, you're good to go, then you head off to the airport 2 hours beforehand. That's another change to protocols 2 hours beforehand. Did we all get that, everyone? This is important. You will notice that it is a very quiet airport, which is something to kind of get used to, I must be honest.
Did you hear what Linda said? You have to be 2 hours before going. But tell us about your experience on the flight. You know, people are obviously very weary about traveling at the moment, but how did your Mango flight from Cape Town to Durban make sure that it was a safe and comfortable trip for everyone?
I can 100% say that I felt very safe and secure on my flight. I was very impressed with how the new protocols work, how Mango was managing those protocols. Literally from start to finish, you know, you go to the Mango counter and you've got your social distancing markers there. And that process is very similar to normal. They do a quick scan of your work permit again, or in my case, a work permit, could be a study permit or whatever else maybe. And then you are led onto the plane. Once again, social distancing stickers are all over the airport, which is wonderful, including on the bridge going onto the flight. It wasn't a full flight, so all middle seats were free. So it was A and C, and then the middle seat was free. On the way back, that was slightly different because the flight was full. But in the same breath, because of the protocols, I still felt very safe. The air filtration is so good, so bring a warm jersey or something warm because it is a little bit cooler because of the filtration. Everyone is wearing masks, and I really love that from start to finish of my experience of getting into the airport to getting out the other side. I didn't see a single person non-masked, for lack of a better word. This embarkation was actually perhaps my great thing that I've experienced of the new normal, and may this actually continue long into the future. Now, you can only stand up when your row is full. So row by row, you stand up, you get your luggage out, you move. So there is no crowding that takes place. Even on the full flight, it's just a really pleasant experience, and I really encourage people who are feeling a bit nervous, you know, we can back into the air. It's okay, and I'm looking forward to my next flight.
It sounds like a stress-free process and a stress-free experience indeed. But now, with the repatriation flights on the rise, with many citizens anxiously waiting to return home, we can't help but notice the high costs of these flights. Is this a sign of the times to come on what we will soon be paying for flights?
It is a bit different because so we're going to just say, for instance, if a European carrier is coming into South Africa to bring South Africans living abroad back to Europe, and this is in the same case as any carrier in anywhere of the world. So that flight has now been contracted by South Africa to come into South Africa. It therefore flies from European hub empty. Generally, there will not be another passenger on that flight. So they come in empty and they leave with however many passengers have signed up to DIRCO to be on that flight back to Europe. The cost of their ticket is determined by the airline flying, and it's also based on the demand on the day of that load. So if there's a lot of people on the flight, your price will be slightly more affordable. So pricing is worked accordingly.
What do you then anticipate will happen to flight pricing over the coming months? Do you think there will be some good deals available soon we need to get our hands on?
The immediate future is a bit unknown for obvious reasons. With pricing, international in particular, is that literally we don't know when the borders will open, and not only our borders but the country that you're wanting to travel to. So what we do know, what we have control of at the moment, well, the airlines in South Africa have control of, is the domestic airfares. So there, I do think that right now they're very affordable. As demand increases, as leisure opens, as more airports open, as more airlines start flying. We will see those prices regulating a bit, but right now they're good, they're strong, they're looking amazing.
Linda, once again, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Oh, guys, thank you for having me. Thank you for having Travel Start. I really hope you found this useful. Let's get back in the air, guys.
And we will. Thank you very much. That was Linda Baum of Travel Start. Of course, Travel Start is your one-stop online travel shop. So forget trolling the web for all the latest flight specials and visit travelstart.co.za now to book your next domestic flight and gain access to all the necessary travel forms that you will need with low airfare on domestic flights from your favorite airlines. They offer something for every traveler's budget. Go and get there.
Travel is slowly restarting. So for now, we travel in and travel dream. And when this is all over, travel near. Travel Start. Freedom to move. Now, when it comes to skincare, getting rid of dead skin that causes flaking is the best way to get our glow back. And Nox Mafu's back again in the kitchen to give us another hot mask recipe to help us get the best results for our skin. And this is, especially during the winter, right? You want to be getting that old skin off and moisturizing what you have and keeping it nice and healthy so you can get that beautiful glow during these cold times.
I know, and I think a lot of the time, we don't realize that exfoliation, obviously it will help with the dry skin and getting rid of it, but also it helps with the rejuvenating of cells. It's great to boost your collagen, which will help, with aging processes. So to do an exfoliation process is always just nice, just to revisit the skin, give it that bounce back, and we can do that with our home ingredients.
All right, so what do you have for us, sir?
Okay, so today I've got the olive oil is back again. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, it's really, really great in terms of just boosting the hydration of the skin and also helps with anti-aging. We've got the sugar, which is going to help get rid of the dead skin.
Yeah, with the exfoliation.
Exactly. We've got honey over here, which is always just a great
anti-inflammatory, isn't it?
You've got it. It's exactly. And then of course we've got our lemon juice, which will help with brightening.
Wow.
And it's just going to help boost the skin. So I'm going to do a little bit of a mix up over here. So I'm going to kick off with my olive oil. And you can do this if you've got medium to combination skin. I would suggest that you do this about once a week.
Yeah.
But if you've got very sensitive skin, I would think maybe every 2 weeks, because you also don't want to agitate the skin.
Okay, all right.
Because it can, these are natural ingredients, which, it's not harsh, but if you find your skin's quite reactive, then I would also then just minimize how many times you do it, because obviously the skin does this for itself, but we're just here to
help
boost
it along a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I guess, of course, the kind of like best advice would just be start off slowly.
Always.
You don't want to just
Start
get into it and start doing it every single day. You might enjoy the treatment, maybe.
But it's not good. You don't want to aggravate the skin. And remember, you want to start, your skin needs to get used to the different changes. You want the nutrients to start to work on your face in a way that is quite, natural and good. So now we've got this beautiful consistency over here. And we're going to take this. I'm just going to show you a bit on my hand.
Okay.
Just to show you kind of how good it feels. And really just in circular motions, you can really feel the sugar is doing the work in getting rid of that dead skin.
Sugar grains.
Exactly. Right? And you can just do this in circular motions. This helps also just to help with the rejuvenation of your skin, to help with, more of an anti-inflammatory move. And this is great. An upward motion I always suggest for people on their face, just to get this, blood moving in the right direction. Keep that on for about 20 minutes.
Oh, because those oils as well will be enriching to your skin as well.
So they need to sit, so you'll do that circular motion, even if you do it for about like 2 happy birthday songs, for instance, just to get that motion going, and then you can keep it on for about 20 minutes, wash it, and then of course you're ready to carry on with the rest of your cleansing process. And it should do well, but I would suggest that you do it on clean skin.
Okay, yes.
So definitely clean your skin first, make sure that it's fine, and then you can start with this process again. So luckily, these things you can definitely find in your groceries, you can find them in your house. So it's a lovely way to stay home and still take care of your skin.
2 questions I have.
Yeah.
Could you substitute olive oil with coconut oil?
Coconut oil is great, yeah. Coconut oil, shea butter is also really good. But I find that the oil is a bit thicker, so it might be difficult for people who've got more oilier skin and struggle with that. But shea butter is great in terms of adding that extra moisture. I add it even to my body lotion, just to add a coat of warmth there and hydration. But this is a lovely way to just get the skin moving and also hydrated at the same time.
And then once you've held it on for like a few minutes and it's, your skin feels nice and hydrated, you just wash off with water, or do you you go within your regular facial cleanser just to make sure that it's
So I'd first do it with warm water just to kind of get that done, get the skin ready, and then after that you can carry on with your natural things. Of course, we don't want to put too many products into it, so I wouldn't, make this very organic process. Use your fruit, then clean it up, and then you can start carrying on with your normal toners and put on your day cream like you usually do.
Wonderful stuff as well. And before we say goodbye to
Yes.
beautiful expertise, you also have a very
Yes, I have a special person whose birthday it is. It's my dad's birthday, Tata. Happy birthday. I hope you have a brilliant, brilliant one. I love you, and also for taking care of us so well. Happy birthday.
beautiful message over there. And of course, if you'd like to maybe treat somebody whose birthday it is to something like this for rejuvenated, healthier looking skin, you can shop all of these ingredients at your local Woolies, and of course also online and on the Woolies app.
All right, stand by. We're coming to you now in the app. Thank you.
We are.
We just spoke to him. Danny, you can hear us clear.
Yeah, we have chatted to him. Okay, thumbs down.
Lucian just told him, Danny, we're about 45 seconds into ad break. Okay, all good. Are you keeping the mask
thanks.
on?
Can I take it off once you've introduced me?
Absolutely, you may. You can also say that you know.
Just please do it a little bit better than our president, if you can.
Shady.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Now, every year has memories. This year will carry with it particularly painful memories for many South Africans dealing with massive unemployment, sickness, and of course the loss of loved ones. But the Ladles of Love organization in Cape Town is aiming to change the COVID-19 narrative into one of compassion and hope through the relief work that they are doing in feeding very worthy families with nutritional food. And they provided over 3 million meals to people since the pandemic began, which is astounding. And now for Mandela Day, they're setting their sights on yet another Goliath to break the world record for the most sandwiches made in 1 hour. And knowing them, I think they're going to do it. The founder of Ladles of Love, Danny Diliberto, now joins us to tell us a little bit more about this and to receive heaps and heaps of love and gratitude for the work that you are doing. Danny, so good to connect with you, my friend.
Morning. Thanks for having me, and thank you for sharing this. It makes me quite emotional, actually. Thank you.
Oh, so amazing to have you. Where are you? It looks like you're in a place like of Game of Thrones or something.
Quite a dramatic setting, yeah.
I'm just going to take off my mask, if that's okay.
No, certainly, that's absolutely fine. There we go, now we can see.
Now that's the face we There we go.
Okay.
Now, Danny, we know last... You all
Sorry,
set, Danny?
carry on.
Yes. Now, we know last year the South African record set for the most sandwiches made in 1 hour was just over 107,000, which was absolutely amazing. This year, you're aiming to make 125,000. Exactly how will you make this happen, particularly now during lockdown under tighter conditions as last year?
Well, we're asking everyone to go online and register. Once you've registered, you have a choice to either get your free Mandela Day kit, or if you want, you can go and purchase your own bread loaves and jam. You will then get this kit. If you do register for a free kit, you'll come in. We've got 11 depots around the peninsula that you can collect your free Mandela Day kit, and you will then take it home. You'll collect it on Friday, and you'll take it home, and then on Saturday, at 10 o'clock, we're all going to have like a countdown, and then you've got an hour to make your sandwiches from those bread loaves. And then within the hour, once we finish that hour, We're going to ask you to then bag the sandwiches back into their original bread bags, drop them back off at the depot that you collected or the depot of your choice, and then we're going to collect them from those depots. We're going to bring them here at Grand West, where I'm at right now. We're going to audit it, count it, and then hopefully we'll break the record of 125,000 sandwiches made in that hour.
I have no doubt that you will achieve this, because you seem to achieve everything that you set your mind to. A great idea, some could even call it a great media gimmick to get the attention, but all of this is underpinned by the amazing work that you're doing and who will be receiving these sandwiches. Now, during the pandemic, you've also distributed well over 1.2 million sandwiches, over 190,000 boiled eggs, and over 250,000 hot meals. If I'm correct, those numbers came to us at the end of June, and they keep rising. Where are you currently sitting in terms of how many people that you're helping?
Well, we're working with around 130 beneficiaries that we assist weekly. We've now, to date, last week, Friday, we broke the 1.4 million sandwiches that we distributed throughout the peninsula. And we also broke 3 million meals last week. The end of last week, we were on 3.3 million meals. If I can show you our floor over here, Tuesday is our biggest day. So these are all parcels that will get collected by the beneficiaries that we work with. It ranges anywhere from 150 kilos to around, our biggest at the moment is sitting at, if I'm correct, 4 tons. Sure. He collects every week. These are the sandwiches that are ready to go. They've all been placed ready. They'll be collected today by our beneficiaries. So we are hoping that, so on Saturday, our plan is through our distribution here, through our systems here, we will distribute the 125,000 sandwiches that we will send out through our beneficiaries that will go out into the community Saturday afternoon.
We have no doubt that you guys are going to nail this, but you are obviously readily accepting more volunteers and sandwich makers. How exactly can the public and the community get involved in this, and where exactly can they sign up?
The best place right now is to go. We created a live Facebook event on our Facebook page, Ladles of Love CT. You can go on there, click on the link, register. Choose the depot if you want your free kit, or choose to purchase your own kit. The Mandela Day kit comes with 5 loaves of bread and a tin of 900-gram tin of jam, which has been kindly sponsored. So you decide, you register. We will then drop off those kits at those depots for you to collect on Saturday. On Friday, you'll be able to collect them, and and hopefully we can do this.
I don't say hopefully. Yes, we can do this. Yes, you will do it. Thank you so much for everything that you and your team have been doing tirelessly building up to this point. We really do appreciate it, and we're in awe of what you've been able to achieve during the darkest times. Maybe because we have gone through this collectively, maybe this has allowed you to further your efforts even more, and hopefully this will give you a platform to keep doing this. We know that there are so many food insecure people in South Africa, so thank you so much, and all the best of luck on Saturday, Danny.
Thank you. If I could also quickly say thank you to everyone out there that have supported Ladles of Love. Without everyone out there, we would not have achieved this.
A fantastic, fantastic way to approach Mandela Day this Saturday. We may be locked indoors, but that doesn't mean we can't lend a hand to some very worthy causes in other ways, and they've made it so easy for us. This cause certainly is worth all of our support.
Just absolutely incredible stuff. I can't believe how many sandwiches are actually being made there, and what an incredible cause, especially now during the Madiba month. But now the time has come for us to talk about Haas avos, and of course they are these dark green beauties with a delicious nutty flavor, and luckily for us they are in season until January next year. Now Chef Clem has put something together which is absolutely great. I cannot wait to see it, and we're making spicy pepper poppers with some tangy guac on the side. I saw we were dropping bars earlier in the kitchen, Clem. I thought I'd challenge you to dropping some bars out here, and I thought we could start off. Can you say this fast, Clem? Peter Piper packed a pack of spicy pickled peppers.
Peter Piper packed a pack of spicy pickled peppers. I got that.
Dropping bars in the kitchen. I love it. All right, man. So what are we doing here? This sounds absolutely delicious, by the way. All my favorites. Jalapeno on a stick.
There we go. So my thing is, right, we made this healthy snack bar, and now that people are like, but now you made a healthy snack bar, and now he's making these. Where's the consistency? And there is.
There's no consistency, but there's beautiful balance.
There is consistency, though.
What do you mean?
If you're on a low-carb diet, tell me where the carbs are on that plate.
You seem to have stumped me, my friend.
It's a low-carb dish. So, I mean, let's just talk about the fact that that's amazing right there. But we're talking about the Haas right now, and they are locally produced, which is amazing. And like you said, they are in season until January next year.
Okay.
So there's no, like, craving for avo, because you know, like, sometimes it goes out of season, and you're like, what?
Well, you
gone?
buy like a big batch months before and hope that it ripens one by one, week by week.
And then you take a quick phone call while you're on the phone. The avo went ripe, and now it's rotten while you're on the phone call. No, that's horrible.
Every time, Clem.
Yeah,
every time.
exactly. So the thing about it, because the temperature is so controlled from the time it gets picked, and you know avos only ripen off the tree, right? Okay. So it's so scientifically monitored by the Willys team that when it gets to your home, as ripe and ready already, it's going to stay that way. It's not going to go off, like I said, while you're on a phone call, which is amazing. They stay fresher for longer. Let me just tell you, if you open up an avo and it looks like this, you're living a very good life, my friend.
Like you open up a magazine.
Look at that. I mean, look at the ratio of flesh to pip. That's what I'm talking about. You know, the biggest disappointment in life is when you cut through an avo and you open it up and it's 80% pip and then 20% flesh. No, we don't do that here at Willys. No, okay.
Avo's skins to chow through.
Oh, shame. Okay, cool. So into with some spring onions, we're going to go with some of that beautiful avo flesh. Let me just make some way so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just using the spoon. The beautiful thing about Haas avos is the fact they've got such a firm skin that it makes it easy just to scoop out.
I'm seeing you working with it with ease, and often some of the avos that I've tried, it's like you got to and
they
chip away at the avo and get it all out there. That is just
no, Haas is beautiful. The soft, floury texture of the flesh just comes away so beautifully from that thick skin, which makes it like amazing for guacamoles. Fuete I like using for like other things when I want to slice avo, but Haas is just so floury and delicious. It's my go-to. So normally we would use sour cream for guac. I like a bit of yogurt because everybody got yogurt at home. Okay. That goes in there, and a squeeze of lemon. This is my very simple guac. This is very, very simple. So you just mash. Actually, can I ask you to mash that?
Oh,
we've all washed our hands. You can do that.
I got you,
the next part.
Of course, as you see me shaking and baking out here right now, head over to the expressoshow.com where you can teach guys like me how to do things like this, get all your recipe inspiration, of course. And we are currently making some spicy pickled pepper poppers with Clem out here. And of course, online you can see all that inspiration that you need to get this going. Oh, it is smelling so good already.
For the peppers, I got some jalapeno peppers, and I'm just slitting it down the side, not all the way through, basically creating an opening so I can stuff that filling in there. You can take the seeds out, that's where most of the heat is. I don't play.
Oh, you keep it in there?
We're keeping it in.
It's not a game.
No, we don't play with
kind of help with winter, I guess, as well.
Yeah, it's really good. Vitamin C.
Struggling with a blanket or two and you don't have a heater at home, just pop some of those in your mouth.
Pop these poppers and you'll be going for days. Okay, so beautiful mozzarella cheese, and that's just going to help it melt beautifully. Then I've got some cream cheese, and that's also going to get mixed with mozzarella. A little bit of avo stuck on my spoon, but hey, that's going to be delicious. And then what else we got? Oh, we're going to wrap it in some bacon, but last week I showed you that we also, besides the bacon, you also get this beautiful beef rashers, and that can also, in case you are not eating pork, the beef ones work so well.
So what would you do with the beef? They are actual. I didn't. Oh,
I mean, life-changing. Life-changing.
What? So if you craved bacon all these years,
or if you're Muslim and
the answer is here for you.
It's so good. It's so delicious. I kid you not. We actually tried it last week with one of our recipes, and the result was flawlessly beautiful. So if, like again, that beautiful candy, smoky flavor that you get from bacon, you can now get it in the beef variant.
Man, that is a game changer indeed. I'm definitely going to try that one out, Clem. How far are we in this process here? I see
Super quick.
These,
I've stuffed it with our filling. You can add some spring onion to that. All you got to do is just get a rash of bacon and just wrap it around there. We're going to double wrap this one. Yeah, 2 rashes, just because. Wrap it around, pop a skewer on that, pop it into the oven. They come out so beautiful and crisp. It's delicious. Bacon on the outside, smoky on the outside, creamy, that mozzarella pull, and that spice in the middle. You think, this isn't hot, and the next second, it creeps up on you.
A festival of all things that you'd want in your mouth.
Exactly.
It's textures of note. And of course, I've finished in like 5 seconds. The best guac side ever.
Best guac side. No, I like it. You mash those avos into like submission. Amazing. But I'll tell you one thing that I noticed that Nicole also pointed out. This beautiful packaging. The packaging has changed on the Hass avos. It's now, the wrapper is completely recyclable. Same as the dish at the bottom.
Yes.
So literally 100% your pips and your skins go to the compost heap. This turns into nothing.
Is it degradable as well? Or?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just recyclable. No nature boy getting super scientific of me. But the fact that literally you have your beautiful avos and you know you're doing a bit good, you're recycling right now. What more do you need?
Absolutely incredible. I think it's a guilt-free way to get an absolute festival of texture, flavor, and all that warmth in your mouth, of course, and it's all...
And it's carb-free!
And it's carb-free! Of course, guys, you're looking for a little bit of a banting heads up, then this is the one for you guys, of course. And with this beautiful packaging, where can you go wrong, Clem? As easy as that. Thank you very much.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, guys.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right, it's game time, and like Tabiso has said before, when you see the tea and the Oma rusks, you may be fooled into thinking that we're having some kind of light tea party, but we are in fact about to get down and dirty for a very serious, very competitive 5-second game. Let's meet our competitors. Dipping in from the blue corner, the very hilarious and vibey Anne Hirsch. Yeah, away. And dipping in from the red corner, our dearest Uncle Tabsy. Yay. The crowd goes wild and they cheer. And this is a very serious game, I've got to tell you now. And it's very difficult, okay? The rules are very easy to understand, but the game itself very challenging. So here's how it works. I'm going to give you a series of questions, and you only have 5 seconds to answer each one. Okay, you'll go in turn with Uncle Tabsy, and at the end, we will tabulate the scores to determine who the winner is. The winner will receive an entire box of Oma rusks, the brand new peanut butter flavor. Yum, yum, delicious. Do you know what I mean? You want to be dipping that for 67 minutes. Do yourself some good, okay? So here's how we begin. We're going to start off first with Tabiso. Are you ready?
Yes.
Please sit in the appropriate manner.
Okay.
There we go.
I am going to sit in the appropriate manner.
Tabiso, you have 5 seconds to name 3 things that are fast.
Motorbike, car, jet ski.
Ooh,
boat.
Just in time, just in time. And here we go. You have 5 seconds to name 3 things that are slow.
A tortoise. Me in lockdown. A slow person.
Ooh, a slow person. You know, that is distinguishable from you being. So I'm going to give that to you.
That
a
is
slow person, a
unfair.
tortoise, and Anne during lockdown.
That's
okay, cool.
unfair.
Here we go. Hey, I'm
Come
judge,
on.
jury, and executioner. Tabi, so here we go. Your question. You have 5 seconds. Name 3 public holidays.
Youth Day, Women's Day, Human Rights Day.
Lovely stuff. Okay. What? Anne Hirsch has an objection.
Oh no, never mind.
Never mind. Yes. I don't know where you were going with that, Anne, but I'm glad you took it back before it even escaped your mouth. Here we go, Anne. You got 5 seconds to name 3 months that start with a vowel.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. One of these!
That is the most incredible thing. You actually mentioned all 12 in 5 seconds, so that qualifies. You got them. Did you see that? That's incredible, right?
I mean, I don't know how she did that. I don't know how
That
she did
is
that.
swag. That is absolute swag. Well done. Okay, Tubbsy.
Yeah.
5 seconds to name 3 ways to pass the time.
Sleep, make a phone call, jump around. I mean, you can do that.
You had a physical experience there. Okay, cool. And here we go. Name 3 things that are a waste of time.
Running, walking super fast, exercising very much.
Nothing very much.
Oh my goodness. Okay, our health experts might not agree, but those are your answers. In your fair opinion, we'll give that to you. This is getting very, very close. I like this. Next question, Tabiso.
Yeah.
You've got 5 seconds to name 3 things you'd do if you could stop time.
Learn how to dance.
You are terrible. You could have named literally any 3 things under the sun and that would have qualified you. But anyway, never mind.
It was a bit of a
terrible
tricky
at that
one.
one. Okay, Anne, you've got... Okay, Anne, you've got 5 seconds to name 3 places you could go if you could time travel.
1923, 1522, and 01.
That last one you didn't get in time, unfortunately.
Okay,
You
so
both
we're
have
square
faulted
and
you're still
even, which is great.
You
Okay.
faulted at the time thing. Okay, here we go. Tabiso, you are next.
All right.
You've got
Is this like
5
our last
seconds.
question?
No, hold on, not last year. Okay, you've got 5 seconds to name 3 nicknames for Nelson Mandela.
Madiba, Tatas, Tata, Baba.
Oh, it's horrible. I'll give you the first 2, but that last one is terrible.
Which one?
Baba.
Baba.
Jacob Zuma ki Baba. Wena o tsena kae ka Ntate Mandela kae?
Yeah, nah, okay.
Hey, button. Okay, and here we go. You got 5 seconds to name 3 things you can do for Mandela Day.
Watch Lark will change the Cotland show we're doing. Buy your ticket on.
Bye!
Well, I think you mentioned the most important one, Anne. We've got that one.
No, it's 1 out of 3.
Yeah, no, I'm
Means
saying...
we needed to, okay.
Yeah, so technically we're still square.
Yeah,
Right? We're
that's
still
what I
square.
want to hear.
I'm just saying Anne mentioned the most important one. We want people to buy tickets for the show, to laugh for 67 minutes and have those proceeds go to the benefit of Cotlands. All right, here we go. This is the decider.
Okay.
The final dip, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Tabiso.
Yeah.
You got 5 seconds to name 3 things to say to someone who is very late.
That's unacceptable. Why did you do that? Why are you late?
Wait, I just have to consult with my auditors here whether those last two things kind of sounded very, very similar.
No, they're not.
Okay, we're gonna accept it. All right, and the pressure is on you. You either square it up or you lose. Okay, you've got 5 seconds to name 3 excuses you'd give for replying late.
My hands fell off. My phone fell in a dam. The lights went out and I walked into a wall.
Shoo! Those are some very compelling reasons.
Wow.
I'm going to just check in with my auditors whether that final answer was in time because it was pretty extended and whether they agree that you made it before the buzzer. You did, Anne Hirsch. It's all squared up. Unbelievable. What a great competition. What a great competition. Oh, wow. Such competitiveness, such spirit, such drive, such chutzpah.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. Anne Hirsch.
The most important part. What do we win then?
Which means that both of you win yourselves a box of Oma sliced yum yum peanut butter rusts. Coming your way, Anne Hirsch. Going to you, Uncle Tabs.
Thank you.
Dip away and enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was wonderful. One of the best 5 seconds games we've had. Thanks so much, and enjoy the show once again. It's on Saturday, the 18th of July, right?
Yes, 5 to 7 minutes after 6. So it's 67 minutes. Buy your ticket quick or on the Copland's website. Amazing lineup. Mark Lottering, Nick Rabinovitz, Alan Committee, Mel Jones, KG, me, just everyone.
And of course, you, Anne Hirsch. Thank you very much.
Our favorite Oma rusks just got a whole lot more yum yum with the all-new peanut butter flavor. Anytime is dipping time.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, your feel-good breakfast show. It is Expresso live on SABC3. Listen, it's a Tuesday. You know what that means. We get another dose of the Tuesday Tunes trio, starring Katleho Maboe, Jordan Toei, as well as Roderick McKay on the keys. It's a fantastic time. But of course, today there's something special going on. Kat, there is a special dedication that you want to send out. Who's celebrating their birthday?
No. So yes, of course, this is a special dedication today for me personally because it is a very special person's birthday in my life. My girlfriend Monique.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Yeah, absolutely. And I wish her all of the most amazing blessings, not just today, but for all of the days to come as well. I love you very, very much. This is, dedicated. When I'm singing it, I'll be thinking about it.
Queen Mother, Monique, happy birthday to you. Of course, this song is beautiful. I mean, it's such a fitting song. But what inspired it? I mean, of course, you've got the birthday. Did you have to think too hard to get to this song?
Definitely not. I think it's just talking about the people you love most. They will never leave you.
Yeah.
Whether they leave physically or you can't see them now during the coronavirus. Unforgettable is all about just holding them close in your heart.
Oh, man, it is Unforgettable by Nat King Cole. Take it away, trio.
Unforgettable, that's what you are.
Unforgettable, though near or far.
Like this song of love that clings to me. How the thought of you does things to me never before. Has someone been more
unforgettable in every way? And forevermore, that's how you'll stay.
That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks my darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too.
Expresso Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.